Hello and welcome to the second edition of the Big Puzzle Competition. Welcome everyone. I am very excited for this one tonight because I think I cooked on the new puzzle base we have today. Let me show you. So right here, if it ever loads, there we go. I built this puzzle base this time around for you guys to compete on. I will explain what we're doing and what is happening in a second, but basically this is the puzzle mode. You had 1 week to drive the fastest time you could on this track right here. And what you will maybe notice is this track was already finishable from the start. So I gave you this time a finished route and your task was to make it faster. I can show you once how it looks like if you drive it normal. So we go to the right here through the checkpoint, then over the dirt to get rid of the wet wheels. Then a small drift here, jump into the checkpoint, then to the left, small wood turn to the right, jump up through the checkpoint and into the finish. Just like that. And I gave you this set of 8 blocks, 2 wood blocks right here, then also some sausage, 2 sausage boosters in particular, very important, 1 flat block with some penalty on the side, 2 ramp blocks, a plastic wall ride, and this black platform block as well to make this route faster. So this is the base. It takes about 18 seconds to finish this route, and your task was to build this faster with this set of 8 blocks with 2 each. But there you go. That is the format and the map that you were given. Let me also give you a run over the system again that we are using. So here you can see how it's gonna work. We are doing a season format where we have 6 editions. This is now the second one. The first place gets 15 points for the season, then the second place gets 12 points, third place getting 10 points, fourth at 8 points, and so on and so forth until 10th, where you get 2 points, and then everybody from 11th to 20th, so basically the top 20, all get 1 point each to the season standings. What are the season standings for? Well, they are for the prize pool after the 6 editions. So 5th place will receive 40 euros, then 4th place gets 70 euros, then 3rd 120, 2nd 170, and 1st place goes home with 300 euros at the end. But that's not everything, because also every single winner of each edition gets 50 euro bonus on top as well. And I would say, without any further ado, let us take a look at the very first submissions. And the first ones, of course, as you might imagine, are press forward. So we have a 52-second time by Doomy and a huge improvement, a 36 seconds time by Switman. Let's take a look at both of them. Both of them chose a press forward. This is Doomy's perspective. That is not too interesting. Here we go. This is Switman's perspective now. So both of them were struggling to find a turn at the start. So Switman found one that is a little bit faster here, going through the water now up here. You see Doomy on the right side going up there. Now comes the part where Switman really overtakes because Doomy has to slowly go around the wall there. Then go down here, uses the boosters now to flip up here into the checkpoint, then glitches through the checkpoint here as well, eventually gets out of it, and then straight line into the finish for Switman, getting a 36. On the other side we have Doomy as well here, with his 52-second time. He's going to the finish now. He was stuck earlier a little bit, going through the blocks here, and then 1 turn to the right into the finish, just like that. Alright, that's the first 2, of course. Not too serious. The next one, to be fair, also not that serious yet. It is Deep Code, and he decided to play the floor is lava. So remember how I gave you this track with all these blocks and everything that you could drive on? He decided to not touch a single one of them. So he doesn't touch the start block, then goes around here to get extra speed. He also tried to do it as few blocks as possible. Goes through here onto the wood, then turns around in this checkpoint. Go around, barely makes it. Then into the next checkpoint here on this side. Over the sausage, going over these. So you can see some ideas here already with getting over the blocks. And then into the finish. Coming home with 27 seconds. Still quite a bit slower than the normal route. And now we're slowly starting with proper runs. Because the next one is by our fellow moderator. Of course it is, for the first time ever, Long Bunny. With a 17.08. Let's take a look. Alright. So Long Bunny decided to take this checkpoint order. Very unconventional. Going the other way around here. Then into the checkpoint here. And then into a bug slide. Plastic bounce combination. Finds a really cool strat here as well of going below the checkpoint with the wood. And then into the finish. So yeah, cool stuff here by Long Bunny, and this does beat the normal route by a second. My fastest run that I could drive with the normal route was a 17.9. This is faster. I want to specifically mention this checkpoint right here. It's a water checkpoint, which makes it very difficult, but Long Bunny just goes underneath like this because black platform or wood, you can see right here, they're on the same level. They're a little bit lower than platform, which you can see here is a little bit higher. So you can actually barely squeeze underneath this checkpoint. Might be important eventually. Alright. But yeah, that was of course just a fun submission. We're going now to the next one, which is another 1.2 seconds faster. And it is Zigmik coming in with a 15.8, and he decided to just not use any of the boosters. I gave you 2 sausage boosters, which makes it very difficult to use for sure. Goes up here, then goes over the border of the checkpoint there, then a drop down onto the wall ride, over sausage and into the finish, getting 15.8. So another thing that is very important right here for this checkpoint. Of course, the normal route goes around here, which is pretty slow usually. You can try to go more inside here, but you have to find a way to get over this border. This border can be very much in the way of going like this, and he found a way with using the black platform, which we might see again eventually. Interesting route here for sure, not needing any of the boosters and still beating the author time by 2 seconds. The next one that I would like to take a look at is 4/10 faster, and it is by Gravelin. Let's take a look at this one as well, and he found something very interesting, and that is that you can place the boosters on the start block. Surely that was not intentional. It is a sausage start block, and I gave you sausage boosters, so you can actually place them on top, which conveniently also means that clipping through ground is not, or through walls, is not really worth it in this edition, because you get less booster effect then. It's not really worth it to clip through the walls. So I actually managed to fix that issue with that as well, for everybody who managed to find this. But yeah, let's take a look at the run here. So goes up here, over the dirt to get rid of the wet tires, then plastic bounce through there, and then at the end, just pretty much drives the normal route. Drives the normal route for the ending. So he basically just puzzled the first half of the track and then just drove the normal route. So this is pretty nice. I like the plastic bounce, but then definitely going around here and then to the left is quite tricky. A little bit slower for sure than what is possible, but you can definitely say that this is a difficult task. So basically, what you could do here, he's going to the left of course, you could try going above here and then have a shorter line to this checkpoint, but there's of course a wall in the way. And you would have to cross this wall somehow. You would have to find some blocks to cross this wall. That is the problem with that one. If you want to beat that or improve on that route, find a shorter route on that. Let's take a look at the next one now, which is Tomek, another second faster. We are to a 14.6, and this is now a pretty similar idea. Goes up here into a plastic bounce, actually still has wet wheels. Also takes the ramp now, goes to the left. Uses a plastic bounce here to turn a little bit sharper to the right, and then finds a platform for the ending. So it's quite interesting here. He actually gets the water over this. He drives first of all with platform over the water, but then here just normal water. And it's not too bad actually, because he gets a plastic bounce here. And the water doesn't really affect you that much if you don't have to steer that much on the landing. And then plastic bounce there to the right, and very important. As we saw previously by Gravelin, he went to the left of this and around into the finish. You can just place a platform here and go more inside and save a little bit of a distance that way. Also, one thing I want to mention as well, on the right side of your screen, I have added now a number here, so you know at which run we are so far, or rather like how many runs we have watched so far in the competition, just as an extra indicator for you. David managed to implement that very quickly yesterday, so 2 days ago I think, and that was very helpful. But now let's move on to the next run, and it is a first time submitter as well. It is Fabex with a 13.8, another 8 faster than the last one. And it's again a very similar stretch to what we saw earlier. Goes with this route here, but uses the wood a lot. Then actually goes inside line here and also takes the safe route, the left route at the end, the normal one, into the finish. So this is pretty clever here, I think, because the majority of the turning he is doing on the wood here. So he's going up onto the wood, and wood, of course, you can steer a lot sharper and keep more speed than on normal platform, and therefore it can be very helpful also here. Instead of going over the ramp and outside around here, he just places the 2 platform blocks here to go more inside and just cut the turn basically. With that, also can instantly jump here onto the wood and then towards the finish, where he also found a block that he could place here to go more inside into it. Nice stuff there as well by Fabex. Nice to see a first time submitter, but the next one is immediately another second faster. We're moving very quickly right here. It's a 12.9. It's 1 second faster than the last one. Let's take a look. What unknown cooked here, because we're actually getting pretty fast already. So let's take a look. 12.9. So goes up here with the booster, avoids the water at the start. Actually really clean transition there. Does a wall right around there, but then gets a slowdown, barely makes the jump. And then with the booster over the wood into the finish. Getting a 12.97, and you could imagine that maybe he could have even gotten a better run. I am sorry for, I can say that already now, I am very sorry for this. We might see this combination again, and I think a lot of people are mad at me for this small edge here. Maybe more people have placed this block here, and I think a lot of people are mad about this. We'll see, we'll see. But yeah, jumps in here, then a big jump onto the sausage, and then over the booster into the finish. Only use 1 booster at the start, so there's 2 different strats here, kind of, where you can either use 2 boosters at the start and then just try to keep the speed, or save 1 booster for the later half of the track. But yeah, that was unknown with a 12.97. We had a 1 second gap for the last one, and the next one now by max level wheel is 5,000 faster instead. The last one was 1 second, now it is a 5,000. So he got a 973. The last one was a 978. And ka-chow. Exactly, he's driving with the car skin for some reason. Let's take a look. So, first of all, goes to the left up to this checkpoint, the closest checkpoint at the start. Then across here, also goes over the border, inside line there, and then reuses this section across into the finish. There's a lot of cool ideas here. Really cool stuff by Max Laveriel here. First of all, this start, I think it's really a cool idea that he's just going up immediately like this. So he's starting on this block, basically on an uphill immediately, gets a little bit of a boost. He's just going up instantly. And then here, this section, he has to cross twice. So he goes once like this, and then he comes back again where he drives like this across, and you have to manage that these blocks work in this direction and also in this direction as well. But yeah, other than that, pretty cool stuff here. Just going across like this, more inside line here, using the wood here to turn a lot quicker to keep more speed, and then going into the finish with a small roof it as well. Very cool stuff. Next one is again the last one was 5,000s. This one now is 4,000. Oh no, not 4,000s. It was 5,000s. Now this is 500s. That's what I was meant to say. 500s faster by Megatri. Let's take a look at what this is, because this is a crazy cool idea. What are we looking at the start here? Well, he's actually going backwards onto a booster and takes this checkpoint first. Then goes through here, backwards to the checkpoint, jumps up, plastic bounce straight onto a booster and into the finish. So he glitches out of the ground here at the start. So like that, goes backwards, like glitching out backwards. It's very unique. We never really see that in the competition. And then instantly onto a booster to go then straight up here. Also, this works pretty nice. This checkpoint, of course, is angled upwards, so he doesn't need a block here because he can just take the jump from the checkpoint, basically, to cross that gap. Doesn't need to use a block. Then would turn here to the left, very efficient as well to get to this checkpoint, and then just instantly landing on a booster here with plastic. I think this is a pretty cool route here for sure. Pretty cool stuff by Megatri. Might be losing a little bit with the strat here in the start because they have to go a little bit backwards at the start, of course, to actually accelerate on the booster. But cool idea for sure. That was Megatri with a .92. Those runs were very close. The next ones is now by Inari. Also, thank you all for the raids and everything. I will be thanking again after, and also the alerts and stuff. Everything of that is currently paused. Alright. Next one is Inari with a .54. 4/10 faster than the last one. And let's take a look at Inari's one. So, goes to the right here, then onto the wood. Very, very tight turning there. Over the wall right block here, another wood block, then inside into the checkpoint and into the finish. So you can really tell that he is abusing the wood here, because you would not be able to turn like that with normal blocks, that's for sure. And then across here managed to go pretty flat and over the wall. So we saw a lot of people earlier going to the left here and around and stuff like this. He managed to find enough blocks to go flat like this over this wall that I placed here to block you off a little bit, to make it a little bit harder. Was for balancing reasons. And then you can go across here into the finish. Also a very elegant finish with the black platform. Definitely loses a little bit of speed in this section, but therefore goes very tight and inside with these wood blocks. And then also the wall ride, like this wall ride combination through the checkpoint just works like a charm, basically. This is just a really nice combination, which we might see later on again as well. Then the next one is by Perry. Another 1/10 of a second faster, a .47, and this one is just really elegant. Let's take a look at this one. Goes to the right first, takes the jump here onto the wood, takes the wall right now the other way and jumps out here onto Sausage, and then with the booster into the finish. I wanna drive this. This looks really cool to drive, to be honest. I love this. honestly. He takes a long distance on this track, and obviously he very wide turn there, but it's really smooth. It's just nice how it fits. Like the blocks just fit together in this case here. Especially this jump, like barely fitting through the triangle of this checkpoint basically, and then jumping up there. Super smooth into the sausage, and then you also get the booster as well into the finish, and with the wood block as well, very nice. Turn to the right here, just cool stuff by Perry here. Very elegant solution. But of course we are still going faster, because the next one, we were just at a 12.4, and the next one is already the sub. We are at an 11.99, already sub 12, and we are just starting the 14th run that we are looking at so far, and we are already at a sub 12. So, starts off here, Slinky has to avoid the wood supports there a little bit, then jump up into a plastic bounce downhill to keep the momentum, across here onto the wood, inside line, and finish. So, it is quite interesting with this. I definitely did not make this easy, I have to say. The wood block here fits very, very nice. Like from the wood turning from here into this checkpoint is really good. You only need to, like, you don't need to turn that much, you know, and to keep a lot of speed with it, it's great. Like a 90-degree turn like this is just nice to drive with wood. But if you place it here, you get the supports of the wood block on the ground, and you have to avoid them in some way, because now you can't go fully inside here. So there's a little bit of a disadvantage if you use that combination. But yeah, cool stuff here, avoiding the wood and avoiding the water, I mean. Jumping up onto this plastic bounce, then onto the downhill, and into the finish. I had another submission that does not count. That was the only replay that I saw from you, at least. Maybe it didn't come in. There were a lot of replays that came in, but that was the only one that I saw, unfortunately. Alright, but yeah, that was Slinky's one. 0.99. Okay, let's take a look at the next one now. Let's see it. It is Nebula. Nebula just 500ths faster, and he doesn't use the booster at the start. He uses it one block later. I found out when I watched Granadi's VOD, he didn't know that he could place the booster on the start block and that it would work. Granadi also didn't think that that would work. We might see him later as well still. But yeah, really cool stuff by Nebula. Let's take a look. So goes up to the left first, then plastic bounce there onto a sausage turn, wood to the left, smooth transitions here onto the booster at the end, and finish. This is a new route. We didn't really see that much yet. Going in basically this opposite order on the track, and then finishing from here. It's quite a nice combination because obviously you get the checkpoint on the left, which is very close to the start immediately, and then you end at this checkpoint already facing the finish. So that is quite nice. Why are all the maps different? Because that is the point of the puzzle competition. I have given you a base map, and you are given a set of 16 blocks, 2 blocks of each of these blocks here, to try to make the route as fast as possible. And these are the solutions that the players came up with. So yeah, Nebula, really creative idea here with the plastic bounce, using the sausage to go over the water as well. That's also why I gave you sausage. Then up here, I love this transition onto the wood from the platform. Really, really cool. Jumping to the left, and then still has a booster left, so he takes it here at the very end, and then into the finish, getting himself an 11.94. Alright, and the next one is another fellow chatter who, luckily for him, did not get into the top 10, in the bottom 10, I was gonna say. Was scared of that. It is... Wait, the button didn't work. Airworm! Airworm with an 11.89. 500ths faster yet again. Let's take a look at what Airworm came up with, and what is that? This is a really cool solution. What did you just do? Even more wood abuse here, going around over the wall ride and into the finish. I love the start. What are you doing? So he gets a really unsmooth trajectory there onto the sausage, but it doesn't matter because he just plastic bounces back down. That is really cool, and he's even reusing this plastic block because if you place it here, it's kind of in the way normally of going into the checkpoint, right? Or going around here, so he's reusing it. He's once plastic bouncing on this side and then driving over it on the other side again, on top of it. That is, of course, the major thing with these plastic blocks. You only have 2 of them, and you need to decide, do you want the top of it to drive over? It's a very big block, a very nice wall ride, or do you want to abuse a plastic bounce somewhere? But really cool stuff. I love how unsmooth this looks, but then it is clean afterwards and gets good speed. Here, however, of course, on the landing loses a bit of speed, so not that fast here. And then into the finish with this line. Cool stuff by Airwim. Also, Airwim in his comments said that he is guessing that the world record, the fastest time, will somehow be a 9.324, he says, which would be 2.5 seconds faster than this. And he will give the sub for every 0.25 of a second that he is off. Let's see. Let's see what will happen here. 2.5 seconds to gain on this for his prediction. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. All right. Capped at 8. Yeah, I don't think you will need to worry about that. All right. Then the next one. We keep going because the next one is again only 0.03 of a second faster. And it is by Kiktik. Surely I pronounced that correctly this time. It is a 0.86. So let's take a look. First of all, here, clean uphill on the onto checkpoint 2, then jumps across here to the third checkpoint, and then booster into the finish, just 0.03 of a second faster. I love the transition from the wood here at the start onto the sausage to get over the water, don't get any water effect, and then just jump up here into a plastic bounce to continue the speed. Use this platform here because he wanted to use the flat platforms later at this section to jump across over the penalty and then onto the booster with a very nice transition, by the way. This is why I gave you this block, and it is because this uphill block here connects perfectly onto the sausage. Look at that transition. So that was my intention when I gave you that block to make that transition possible. Of course, you can also use it for a jump, but that transition can definitely be very nice. Not the other way around. The other way around is quite tricky, I think. But yeah, that was Kitik's run with a 0.86, and the next one, almost 0.3 of a second faster. We're moving up again. It is by Decal. Decal with an 11.60, and let's take a look at what he came up with. He's starting with a double booster here, drive up, then into a plastic bounce there, drop down, and then reuses the start boosters into the finish. So he uses 2 boosters at the start and then reuses them again at the finish. So he basically has 4 boosters for the entire route. So this is really clever. I think it's cool that this is possible. Also, he found a ramp up to the checkpoint here on the left, which doesn't block his route to the right, but he can take it then when he reuses it to the left. So that is very useful here. Cool idea. Definitely here by Decal, giving himself an 11.6. One thing definitely worth a mention is this plastic bounce was very rough. He went down from 280 speed in this moment, 270, down to 160. If the plastic bounce is this direct, this sharp, it is very, very hard to actually keep speed with it. But he doesn't really need speed because he's just getting, 2 extra boosters here. Cool stuff, definitely. Cool stuff by Decal. And then we have Xelm with the next run. Let's take a look at this one. It is a 0.42, 0.2 of a second faster yet again, and this one has a pretty fun theme actually. Let's take a look. 0.42, because his theme is basically just barely skirting below these checkpoints. Every single checkpoint, he's just barely going below it. Takes the long route around, like a big circle he's basically taking here. And then goes into the finish. So every single checkpoint he placed a block inside of, pretty much. But yeah, his start, he is using the wood block to jump up here and instantly turn to the right on this wood block as well. Found the way of going below the checkpoint here. Then it takes the wall weight as well, which we saw earlier can be very effective. Going down below and then into the finish using the booster as well. There you go. That is some solution. And as an addition to this week's puzzle competition, as we've seen last edition, we had a lot of submissions and it got there were a lot of submissions to go through. This time I have set up something to go through this submissions a little bit quicker, the ones that are somewhat similar, and that is that I've prepared a video for these already. So the next ones we are going through in rapid succession. The first one being a Lemon with a 0.32. So Lemon found a route here where he's also going to the left checkpoint first, then going underneath the checkpoint to the right, then jumping up across there and then taking the wood at the end to gain a little bit of speed. This is a very hard checkpoint order, I have to say. It is very hard to go around here like this because you have to find a nice solution there. The next one is now by Lone Drive, an 11.30. Just a little bit faster, uses one boost at the start, then big plastic bounce down here over the wood, and then another plastic bounce here, dropping down into the booster and the finish. Definitely lost a little bit of time there by going very late into the checkpoint, but nice submission here by Lone Drive as well. Saved the booster at the ending. Next one would be Jaja Wunderbar, but he didn't submit a correct replay, so the next one is a Tex with a 10.89. He found a 4/10 improvement over everyone else. A very smooth start by him, finding a roof hit here as well, going to the right checkpoints first, doing basically a very big turnaround, and actually uses the ramp here. It's quite interesting. We don't see that very often using the ramp, but cool stuff here by Tex with the first sub 11. The next one now by Brecco. Huge improvement from last time around, from the last edition, that he was basically the last place from the normal submitters. He's going over to the right here, over the sausages, very tight line across, and then takes another booster here as well over the wood into the finish. Cool stuff by Brecco. Definitely a very strong improvement, very efficient walk right there, keeping the speed here. Nice stuff. It's always good to take a booster early. The next one that we have here is Double Globe, which uses a beautiful transition there onto the sausage and then into the finish. So he goes to the left checkpoint first, finds the wood as well to go below the checkpoint, really efficient, then onto the booster to get back up to speed, and then just a straight line to the finish. I love how this transition comes about here onto the sausage. Beautiful transition, absolutely beautiful transition by a Double Globe there. Next one now is Ragnar, who also is doing a plastic bounce here, has put a lot of visual cues there to help him aiming. And then another plastic bounce at the ending, actually still has wet wheels there from the start, but it doesn't matter, he still survives the route with 10.76. Cool stuff there as well. Also the bounce in the end, keeping good speed. I think he is the longest name, so his time is a little bit cut off, but that is fine. Nice run by Ragnar. Then we have the League Club submitting again as well with a 0.76 as well. Actually tied Ragnar to the 1000th. They have the exact same time. Delete Club goes to the right as well. Big wall ride around. Then onto the wood and wide line to the finish. Very, very wide line, to be honest. They are definitely dropping a little bit of time. But cool stuff here. Delete Club submitted earlier, and that's why I gave him the point there. We can also see here the difference now. So Ragnar didn't take the first booster. So he is finding himself a bit behind Elite Club, but takes the booster now, comes back more inside line as well, but it's just the same time in the end. Look at the small differences here in speed. Crazy stuff between them in that section. Just cool to see the comparison here. Very cool comparison. He got the point of 20, surely. Surely. But yeah, cool to see the differences. Then we have a Perry. Wait, I have him twice. Oh. Yeah, okay, Perry did submit. Okay, I did get his other run. Never mind. Oh my god, I didn't see this one. Did you change your name? Maybe you changed the name. Anyways, I need to fix that after. Now I see. So he is doing a very, very smooth route here, to be honest. Going to the right as well. Late booster over the water here. Gets the dirt to get rid of the wet tires. A lot of speed set up there with a wide line. And then the wood here onto the sausage. Super clean stuff as well. We can see here the comparison though. He loses a lot because he doesn't have the booster in the start immediately. But he gets more speed because the second booster, he gets the full booster. If you place the booster at the start, you only get half of it. So he does manage to gather more speed. This is a comparison against the Elite Club from earlier. And also then the more inside line. Barely getting the point there. 100th faster only. Really, really close stuff between them. Yeah, what a close finish. The next one is a Tramis here with another 500s faster. He's taking this long route again, where he's taking the left checkpoint first and then the back checkpoint as the last one. Going with a booster through that checkpoint in the middle. Pretty cool stuff over there, and then reusing the wood as well into the finish. Very hard to do always. But yeah, really smooth, nice route here. Definitely nice route. I will also switch to the correct one. There's Tramis with the point 70. But now we have already Cube with the last one in the montage here with a point 70. We moved up 6/10 from when we started. And a nice route here as well with the booster going to the right, then over the border as we saw previously with the black platform. And then the wood inside there as well. Cool stuff by Cube, getting rid of the wet tires as well with the dirt. Cool jump here into the wood turn as well, and then into the finish. And that were those. So I want to go through them a little bit quicker so that we're not here today for 4 hours today. But yeah, there you go. Was a bit difficult for me to follow, but hope that was good. I'm sorry, of course, if you were in there and you were hoping for me to talk about your runs for a little bit longer, but at this point we're getting so many submissions, it's getting very difficult. But thank you everyone for submitting there. But now we keep going. That was a point 17. Now we're going to point 65 by ours truly, Mikey, with a point 65. First time submitting, improved a lot throughout the week. And let's take a look at what Mikey came up with. So starting on the booster immediately, then left onto the uphill, over the wood. Really nice transitions here, taking the long road as well, over the platform there and into the finish with a plastic bounce. So one thing that is very notable with this route, we saw it a couple of times already, you get the first checkpoints very quick, but the last checkpoint that you get here is pretty much the furthest away from the finish that you can be. However, you are in a good angle though for the finish. So you can continue driving here, get onto a booster as well, so that is good. But that is definitely one thing to keep in mind. It's one of the longer routes, distance-wise, that we see that are viable here. But yeah, nice run by Mikey. Especially these wood entries are really nice. So right there, super smooth into this one. Then going over the sausage here, and this one also butter smooth onto the wood there as well. Inside line here to keep the speed. Another wood turn to keep more speed there as well. Then onto the wall ride to... always wall rides, of course, easier to drive. You can have a bit of a tighter line on them. So yeah, cool stuff by Mikey. Alright, there you go. That was Mikey's run. And now we have another first time submission. Also nice to see. It is Rabbi. First time submitting with a point 64. Managed to beat 30 other players with a point 64. And let's take a look. So this route is pretty similar to what we saw from Parry earlier. Goes over the water there, onto the dirt, then onto here, into the last sausage turn, and then finish. So he's taking the right order as well. One booster at the start. Very wide line there with the wood. And then beautiful transition into the sausage there and to the finish. The plastic block here, you might be thinking, is he trying to do a plastic bounce? No, this one is just for visual cue actually, because a plastic bounce would literally be slower here if you do a plastic bounce. This is a really clean landing, good drift to keep a lot of speed here. It's literally just for visual cue, and honestly it's very good visual cue. It lines up perfectly. But yeah, wide line there to keep a lot of speed into this section, with the platform here as well, just driving flat with a lot of speed, 250 speed across this section, and then this transition also really smooth. Looks actually nice to drive. Alright, that was Rabbi's run. Also at chat, I will of course upload this to YouTube as well in case you miss anything. So this will be uploaded to YouTube already tomorrow on the Monday always after the competition. Let's take a look at the next one now. We have DOG with a point 61, and this actually is a new route. So he's going up here and then going around, ignoring that one checkpoint of the long road and taking it now at the very end. Then with a roof hit into the finish. So a small difference to the other ones here. Basically just going a little bit wider there on that section to keep a bit more speed and then taking the checkpoint at the end. Cool stuff here definitely by DOG. A lot of interesting unique transitions. First of all at the start, taking a plastic bounce and to keep a bit more speed on this landing, then just from one black platform to another, from this black platform onto the wood as well. Really clean, cool stuff. Basically an evolution of the other route, this one here. And then also these transitions are really smooth. Like from the wood downhill to the right, onto the wall right here, the plastic wall right, and then onto sausage. Like that transition in general feels really, really nice. I very much like it. And then also a roof hit into the finish so that he doesn't have to slow down at all. Cool stuff here by DOG. And obviously managed to bring the booster in here to get it a little bit earlier. A lot of people, when they did this route, did it like in somewhere here. It's always good to do the booster as early as possible if you can keep the speed. Always want it as early as you possibly can, so that you're faster for longer, of course. Next one now is Xia Relia, and remember how the last one was the first time that we saw that route? Well, he did the exact same route, of course. So we saw it once earlier, and now we see it again immediately. We didn't see it before, and now we see it twice in a row. Bit of a different solution this time by Xia. So he goes a bit more inside here with the wood, then onto the wall right here, going wide, then also finding the wood downhill, but then a different line there. Interestingly, remember how I just talked about how important the booster placement is? He just ignores the second one, like he never touches it. He does not touch it at all, he just completely ignores it here. But yeah, nice transition onto the wood, once again we saw it previously. This here he drives across, very important. He managed to find a block here where he can drive across to this area, which doesn't block the checkpoint below, so because he can go below through that. Which is pretty cool as well. Then also finding a nice wall right here yet again. We saw it quite a few times already. Then onto the wood, onto the sausage, very smooth, and then jump into the finish. And I would say this is the first time where we are going to take a look at a comparison now between him and a DOG. So let's take a look. DOG, of course, as we saw earlier, is doing a much wider line. Does a plastic bounce there and goes wide here. So he's a little bit behind Xia at the start, but then catches up here. Now on the same wood block, also going on to Sausage, and with the booster now trying to catch up on the finish line, but it is not enough. Xia faster by just 600ths of a second, but with the booster, Diogi definitely managed to catch up a lot in the end. And you wonder if maybe Xia could have, you know, implemented that as well. It's just sitting there, basically not being used. But yeah, cool stuff, close between the players. Always fun to see similar routes that close to each other. Next one is Auvre. And now it's kind of interesting. I have been playing his Pathfinding Cups for the last few months, and now he is basically playing my Pathfinding Cup. Nice to see. So he is doing, again, the left route at the start here, going up onto the wood, and then through the checkpoint, finds the transition as well, onto the booster here, keeps a lot of speed, and then with the black platform over the border and into the finish. Lots of crazy creative transitions here for sure by Auvre. Nice to see. Got himself a .49. And yeah, another thing that you have to mention here is this route. We will see it quite often. It's a difficult route to drive because when you go through this checkpoint, first of all, you have to use a wood block or a black platform block, because those are the only ones that barely fit underneath the checkpoint like this. But also it is then very hard to fit through here. There's like barely any space to go through the checkpoint, so a lot of people will slow down here and then try to use a booster again. And it's very important that you get that booster quickly, which Auvre does here, gets the booster immediately, and keeping the speed here. Of course, these blocks, if you didn't see that earlier, of course all of these kind of blue blocks, they are on the normal route. He's always seeing the intermission. Those are the base blocks. Those are not placed by any players. These ones are here normally, and of course here at the end, if you wanna go in this direction to the finish, you have to find a way to get over this border, and found a very nice smooth transition here. Cool stuff by Auvre. First time submitter as well. Next one we have is Joker with a much faster one here, actually. A .33, 1600ths faster than what Auvre was able to come up with. And let's take a look here. Goes up and uses both wood blocks, actually, to do the turning. Then across here, smooth transition also from the black platform onto the sausage. So he found a new thread of using both wood blocks to get a bit more turning on that section. And then also I love this transition onto the sausage here. Without the black platform, it would be much more unsmooth. But yeah, basically he does this wood block to turn a little bit, and then does the next wood block to turn even more. So it's kind of interesting solution there by Joker. Then drops down here, definitely loses a little bit of exit speed there. But yeah, then here you can imagine how unsmooth this transition here would be if you would just jump onto the sausage normal. So he found this nice transition here to go across, and then also have the booster for the ending to go into the finish very quickly. Very nice solution there. We are already at a 10.33 here, and the next one is only 100th of a second faster. Also, first time submitter, it is a Corso, and he is doing the left route again. We all see a lot of separation between the right route and the left route. Let's take a look at what Corso came up with. Also finding the jump there, then uses the wall ride to go through there. Nice transitions here into the checkpoint, and then booster into the finish. .32, really cool transitions here, I love it. So yet again, as I talked about earlier, this checkpoint here with being kind of a ramp is very hard to navigate, and he found that you can just place this block here and it neatly goes through and avoids this platform entirely. But then you are high up here, so where do you go? You go onto a wall ride to keep this momentum going. Then also still has a wood block to go more inside here, and then the booster into the finish using the wood to turn. Nice stuff by a Corso for sure. Also finding this very smooth transition here, and yeah, as we saw previously, using the black platform wall ride to go through the checkpoint, very efficient. Usually it's very difficult if you use this one here to gain enough height through the checkpoint, but managed to find something here. And getting himself a point 32. Next one, again, only 0.04 of a second faster. It's very tight around here. It is a Neophilis. And let's take a look at what he came up with. He's going to the booster at the start, then to the left. Going full wood here to the left, then around here, then just taking the ramp onto the booster, another wood block at the end, and finish. He is really now starting to abuse the wood. Wood is so useful in these puzzle competitions. It's definitely a scary thing to implement because you have such a tighter turning radius and you can keep so much more speed on it. So you really need to think about how you use it. It's all like wood blocks are almost as useful as boosters sometimes in certain situations. But yeah, really smooth transition here, going from one wood block like this to another. So he has the small ramp, of course, from this block here to again get smooth across to this one. And then here as well goes across. And I talked about this ramp being an issue, right? Quite often. But he just takes the ramp as a jump to land on the sausage. Smooth transition here from the platform onto a booster as well. Immediately getting back up to speed. And then this transition is so good. Out of the sausage turn, using the sausage turn to go onto this wood and do the turning for you is really, really good and fast. Basically, you don't really need to slow down at all at the end for this line. Point 28 for Neophilis. And I would also like to take a look at a comparison here as well between Neophilis and Corso earlier. So let's take a look. So they're basically starting in a similar way up here. Corso goes more inside. Remember, he had this kind of wall ride or churning wood block to go a bit more inside. So he is a bit quicker into the checkpoint than Neophilis. And also still a bit quicker here, but then a little bit higher up there and gets onto the booster later. Neophilis already has it now. Now Corso goes for the booster. And then in the finish, they come around here and it is really close, but just by 0.04 of a second, Neophilis is ahead into the finish. There you go. Really close stuff between the players here again with different solutions. You can tell that Corso was ahead here, but as I said, you want to use the booster as early as possible, and that is what Neophilis did, and with that managed to overtake just before the line. Alright, that was Neophilis with a point 28. We're coming ever closer to the sub 10. Next one is Awesome Tom, actually. With a huge improvement. Managed to beat 39 other players. Great stuff by Awesome Tom. With a point at 20, actually. 0.08 of a second faster. And let's take a look at what he came up with. So going the right road again, going from the wood onto the wall ride black platform, then neat transition there as well, inside into the finish. Huge improvement over previous ones. Managed to beat 39 players, as I said. Also nice route here, as I said before as well, you always have to find a way to get over this wood, and actually not over this wood, over this wall when you do this route, right? Otherwise you would have to go around, which is very slow usually. So you have to find a way to get over this wall, and this wood block just barely fits. You get a little bit of penalty here and a little bit of a unsmooth line, but it works. Also this transition here, this wood block is here normally. That is part of the route. And he manages to get onto it from the black platform. Very nice stuff. I want to mention real quick, what was this turn? Illegal. Look at this illegal turn by Awesome Tom. You are literally off the platform. What is that? How did you stay on? How in the world did you stay on that block? Right there. So close. Like, so close. But cinema though. From that perspective. Nice stuff by Awesome Tom. Next one we have is Quentin. With another improvement of 600 with a point 14. So let's take a look at what Quentin came up with here. It is a point 14. So here we go. Goes to the left and then plastic bounce onto the booster. Different route that we've not seen before yet. And around here, over the wood as well, and finish. This is a crazy one. This is an absolutely crazy solution for this. Abuse the wood in insane ways as well at the finish and into the finish with a time of a 0.14. There's multiple things to discuss on this one. First of all, we have not seen this route at all yet, I believe. This is the first time we see this route, this checkpoint order. But crazy that you can manage to jump up here into a plastic bounce through the checkpoint, triangle kind of in this case, and then onto the booster. You need to avoid this bush as well. I'm sorry for that. Needs to avoid that. Across here, using the wood then, he has a very flat line and a lot of speed into this, which is very good. Very hard to get normally. And then I love this transition from the wood. Normally, you would go down like this. Very hard to do this transition. But he found that he can place the small bit of platform to make the transition work. Also then a nice turn to the right here, through the wall ride, and then into the finish. Quentin with a pretty cool new route here, getting himself a 0.14. I think it's also very difficult to drive, to be honest, this route here. Like, driving all of this quickly is definitely not easy. Technically shortest distance, yeah, probably that was the shortest distance actually from all of the ones that we've seen. But yeah, very hard to implement and actually keep the speed. The next one, I was talking about the sub 10, we were at a 0.14. Is it enough? Yes, it is, with Skywalker getting a 0.98. 9.98. We are already at a sub 10 now. Let's take a look at what Skywalker came up with. Going to the right, then jumping onto the sausage here to do a turn. Gets a lot of speed from the booster and then super clean finish as well. So remember how I always said that you have to go over that wall? Well, if you have this kind of speed and wood abuse, you can also go around it. That is so fast. He only used one booster at the start and then gets a really nice angle to use the second one here. He goes up to 300 speed. Super fast around there and into the finish. I love just the jump here into the sausage turn. He's using actually both sausage turns at once here. So one goes like this, and then the other one would normally go like this, and they perfectly combine here to make this possible. And yeah, it's so much speed across this area, and then absolute wood abuse across here. And he also keeps a lot of speed with this plastic bounce as well across, and nice close line into the finish. That's what it takes to get a sub 10 on this track here. The very first sub 10 with a 0.98. It was not the only one with a 0.98. Because we have another one now by Luboy, just 3 thousandths of a second faster with a 985. Let's take a look. He's going to the right here again, over the wall ride, then onto the wood, going above across here onto the booster and into the finish with the wood. Such small differences here for a completely different route pretty much. He also takes the booster later, just like Skywalker did, but he's taking it on the very last straight. Skywalker took it on a straight earlier, but therefore he is able to go a lot more inside here. And I would say, once again, let's take a look at the comparison here between Luboy and Skywalker. So here we go. Let's take a look following a Skywalker's perspective. So they're both starting the same way. Then Skywalker, of course, goes wider here for the turn with the sausage. Is finding himself behind, but now gets the speed. Overtakes into the checkpoint, but now goes a wider line onto this section here. Is finding himself ahead, but then has less speed than Luboy, and just into the finish, he snipes with a more inside line. So what a close fight. Only 3,000 separating the two, with very different solutions to the same route. Just the smallest of differences there between the players. But the funny thing is, this was not the only 3000th improvement and not the only 0.98, because we have yet another 0.98. A 982 by Link. Link with a 0.982. Skywalker actually managed to lose 2 positions by 0.006 of a second. 3 players with a 0.98. And let's take a look at this route by a Link. Nice to see him participate again. He's doing the left route and he's taking it very aggressive. Going over there with the wood, then onto the wood here as well. Very aggressive line. Then with the wood here onto the booster and straight finish. So really, really tight here going over the black platform. I like the transition there with the normal platform uphill onto the wood. That is, I can tell you already, the easiest way to go from black platform height onto this wood height. Because there's not many other blocks that I gave you that get this kind of elevation. Most blocks are on this black platform height, or they're already higher up or flat or something like that. This is pretty much the only block that works for this kind of transition. But it works really well here, and he's able to go flat through the checkpoint like that. Also keeps the speed here over the platform just barely to not go over the penalty. And yeah, great stuff. Also here then at the end as well, using the wood to go onto the booster and then doing a sausage jump, which is pretty cool as well, to go into the finish. Nice run by Link. That was a 0.982, but yet again, only 100th of a second faster. We have a familiar face. It is Granadi with a 0.97. So this is actually 4 players within basically 100th of a second. And Granadi also took the left side, going over the wood here, below the checkpoint, then over the checkpoint there, absolute wood abuse and some smooth sausage jumps into the finish. So yeah, obviously it's Granadi, so he's going for full wood abuse on this map. Just abusing it completely here. Basically from this point onwards, he's just driving on wood for 3 checkpoints in a row, dropping down here. This is a very difficult turn to drive because you have to go high enough to go over this edge here, but not too high to hit the checkpoint. And then also still get a good transition onto this wood. And it's very important to land straight to keep a little bit more speed. Then onto the booster here. One thing I have to say with this wood to sausage transition, it is very smooth. It's a very nice transition here, but because he's jumping, he's actually skipping over most of the booster. He's only landing here in basically the last third of the booster. So he is skipping quite a bit of the booster effect, but he still gets some of it then over the sausage here. I love this transition combination that he found from one sausage turn to the next and into the finish. Also here, I would like to take a look between a Granadi and a Link. I would like to see the comparison also with Skywalker and Luboy in here as well. Let's take a look at what they do. So, of course, Link and Granadi go to the left side, whereas Luboy and Skywalker were going to the right. You see Link is actually far behind Granadi because he had a better start, used more wood. But then Link has more speed here with the booster trying to catch up. Then you also have Skywalker and Luboy on the other side, and this is the finish between them. 4 players, and they're so incredibly close to each other. Basically, all of that replays end at the exact same time. This is how close it is between Link, Granadi, Skywalker, and Luboy. Of course, coming from the other side. Insanely close stuff. Insanely close stuff. Alright. We keep going though. The next one is yet again a 300 faster. It's back to the left route, and it is Domino Marama with a 0.94. Let's take a look. So, goes up here onto the wood, then right turn here, smooth stuff, over the ramp into the finish, and nice end. Nice end right there. I love that Granadi got beat by a turtle into the finish. I love it. 300 faster than the previous one. Good stuff, but yeah, really clean stuff here with the wood across here. Then just jumps onto the booster. That way gets the full booster effect. That's what I was talking about with Granadi earlier. He didn't get the full booster because he landed so late. Whereas Domino lands at the very start of it. It's a really difficult route, I think. Like just driving across here over the wood. Then this transition onto the black platform and the wood here. It's very hard because these blocks, these wood blocks, you would like to use them, but you always have this ramp here from the checkpoint, which can be very annoying to deal with. But he just jumps onto the sausage with the smooth transition from the platform here as well. Clean landing into a wall ride, and then... Yeah, I'm not so sure if that block really helped, but it definitely didn't lose that much either. He already had a lot of speed, just gliding into the finish. Cool stuff by Domino here. Alright, and the next one with, again, another 9.9 second time. It's already the 6th one we see so far, just barely beating the sub 10, is Your Only Hope with a 0.92. And he is going to the right again. Double booster in the start and big jump onto the wood at the back. Then across here, over the wood and into the finish. So he's just getting maximum speed at the start with the boosters and then trying to keep the speed with a wider line across this. Struggling a little bit with the penalty here. He's definitely losing a little bit of time because of that, because he has to go over the penalty with these blocks. He's trying, basically he's, there's only 2 flat blocks that I gave you. This one here, you have it twice and you have to use it wisely. It is very nice when you use both of them here, but then you don't have one for this section, you know? That's the hard part. Here, and then the question is, of course, do you have any other blocks still available, or are you using them already in other sections? He also found a nice black platform block here to basically get a flat because part, or flat block, because obviously this half of the block is a lot less vertical, a lot less steep than this side. So that is very nice as well, using the block like that. Very versatile, to be honest, if you use that block in different ways, or rather the block can be used in very different ways. But yeah, nice stuff by Your Only Hope here with a 0.92. Also, by the way, I just noticed, I think this is the wrong replay. He sent in a 0.32. He sent his previous one, not his fastest one. So I hope that this is actually his route as well, because he sent in the wrong replay, but I believe him for now. I'll allow it for now, at least. He sent in the wrong replay. You always have to send the normal replay, not the previous replay. Very important. Alright. When does the next map come out? That is an interesting question as well, because that comes on the either Thursday or Friday this week. We will do a poll in the Discord about that, where we will decide. I think probably on Thursday I will probably move it so I have a little bit more time to set all of this up, because you guys sent in a lot of replays. We are already at the 47th replay today, 1 hour in, and we have watched 47 replays. That is insane. That is more than other full editions, which is crazy. It's really cool to see how many people are interested in the puzzle competition, and that's really sick. You guys have really cooked, and this is definitely also a cooked route here by Sibri. Let's take a look at his 0.87, the first 0.8. So he is going to the right side here. Similar route as what we saw earlier with the white line, but then a little bit more optimized here, not going over the penalty and into the finish. So very similar start here, but he opted to go over the water with this ramp instead of going through it and then drying the wheels on the dirt or something, or doing an earlier jump. But yeah, then white line here with the wood. Another thing that is worth a mention is that he's going a little bit tighter on this turn here by using the black platform. Normally, you would, if you would go flat line, you have to go this wide. But because he uses this black platform, he can go a bit more inside because he's just barely above the border of the checkpoint. Then through here and finds the wood transition to go to the right, keep a lot of speed. And yeah, nice stuff by Sibri, managing to avoid the penalty at the end, which can be very important to keep a lot of speed. And then we have another 500s faster, Alec Bees, with an even more aggressive route than the last. Going with double booster here onto the wood block, one more inside and then plastic bounce here to keep the speed, actually keeping 250 speed into the side, they're barely surviving and into the finish. So double booster in the start, then very early wood turn there, and I love that small plastic bounce, smooth transition here inside, and he barely keeps it on track. Like, how do you not get a slowdown here? Like, it's so close to flipping over. But yeah, nice stuff by LXBs. Cool strategy for sure. The way to go around here with the plastic bounce, landing smooth in a downhill as well. Actually a lot of speed kept with 250 speed. Nice stuff by LXBs. Yeah, a lot of flickering here, but it can be mentioned that he is actually getting water here. So I placed 2 water blocks here, of course. Those are on the normal track. And he is getting water. But I was so nice to place dirt right after. I didn't give you a dirt block to dry the tires, but I placed one on the map. So that way you can dry the tires here, but you have to drive over this block. You have to drive over the block. Otherwise, that does not work. Alright, and another run. We're going 1/10 of a second faster. He was announcing in the Discord that he was going to beat Shorty this week. But it didn't work out this time. It is not Viovis. That is one too early. Wait. Oh, this is Viovis. Oh, fuck. I didn't update the thing. I didn't update the results. Because Viovis... Okay, quick rant. I am sorry about this. Viovis sent in a 0.725. He wrote he sent in a 0.725. He named his replay a 0.725. But when I watched it, it was a 0.275. He did a typo, and then my entire system was wrong. All of the results that I put in, they were all wrong. he actually drove a 0.27, so we will see him later. I forgot to update the graphics on the overlay. Oh, God damn it. We will hopefully make it easier to see the replay time for next time. I did ask the developer, and I think she will be so nice to give us an update to make that a lot easier for you as well. I can understand that you make that mistake, but still really mad. Okay, so this is the correct one. It is ZachMac with a 0.70. So yeah, I did leak now that we are going half a second faster. I am sorry. It's a pretty good run. I could immediately tell when I watched that run, that was too good for a 0.7. That was too good for a 0.7. Because that is an insane run. Oh, shit. Shit, I leaked. Well, we'll see. We'll see how good that one will be. Alright, ZachMac here, the 50th one that we are seeing, technically the 49th, is a 0.70. Did not manage to beat Shorty this week. Let's take a look. Booster here on the right, then jump up onto the wood, big wall right there, turn to the right, and then using the booster into the finish. And what is that finish jump? You can definitely tell that ZachMac hunted this. This is a sick run. Like, actually insane run for this route, I think. Cool strat here of jumping over onto the wood to keep a little bit more speed onto the wall right turn. And then this ending is just insane. What are you doing? How did you not... This is so inside. Crazy run. Absolutely crazy run by ZachMac. Wow. Of course, he's only using one booster at the start and then one booster at the end, so he does have a little bit less speed across there. Also finds the very nice transition from the platform into the booster block as well. But yeah, nice one for a 0.70. It looks really good. And you may be wondering, how are we going at least half a second faster? Well, you will soon find out. The next one will probably not tell you how we're going this much faster, because it's only 3,000 of a second faster. It is a 702, 3,000 faster than a ZachMac by iTwitch. And he is going to the left side. Going over here, and look at this cursed wooding by iTwitch. What are you doing? Over the wall right here, smooth transition there, and finish. He's just absolutely abusing the wood here across these turns. Across here, onto the booster, into a wall ride, and then into the finish, a 0.70. Sick stuff by iTwitch here. Like, this is so cursed. Like, look at this. Like, what are we even doing here? Like, What is this? The good thing with this block here is that it's flat on this side and higher on this side, because you obviously have higher elevation on that side there. Yeah, that made sense. So you go across here and you can jump this, and then you can also jump this block right here. So you basically has wood for the entire turn, also smooth turn here. This block is so good. If you can manage to have this block here and connect it, it's so good, because you're not having a jump, no ramp, no nothing. It's super smooth. Also finding the smooth transition onto the booster here. Maybe losing a little bit because he has to turn a lot. Obviously, he doesn't have a wood block over. A lot of people use a wood block here to turn sharper left. He used up all of his wood blocks here, so he doesn't have it for the end. And that definitely slowed him down a little bit at the very end. Cool idea, by the way. Nice effort of trying to land smooth on this block here. It's quite difficult to do, I think, but definitely nice effort trying that. I think cool idea to try to make that a little bit smoother at the end here as well. Cool run by iTwitch. That was a point 70, and I would say the last ones were really close. It is time for another quick montage. The next one that we are looking at is a point 69 by Vanturikadru. Vanturikadru going for a point 69. So here we go, the 52nd run we are watching so far, going very wide into the finish. So he's using 2 boosters in the start. Then big wall right turn over the platform here, very smooth, and then wide line into the finish. That wide line is definitely not optimal, I have to say, but I think he just wanted the point 69. He literally just wanted the point 69. He's definitely losing a little bit there. Next one here is by Old Noob. Just 100 of a second faster. A lot of wood there again. Small ramp onto the booster as well. So left jump here, abusing the wood, going below the checkpoint. And then this nice ramp transition here onto the booster. Early getting speed. Going over the border at the end with the platform uphill as well, which can be very efficient. The next one after this, of course, only 300 of a second fast. It's really close here. It's Pilosus with also the left side, but basically doing the Granadi strat there, then onto the booster there, going uphill 1 block onto the wood into the finish. So yeah, right here he goes a little bit higher than what Granadi did, and then also gets the full booster at the ending. Which is a little bit faster. He clips through the through the wall at the start, by the way, and we can take a look if that is actually useful, because we do not have a comparison here. I forgot about that. Never mind. The next one is drop kick drum. Drop kick drum with just 200 of a second faster. Also going to the left side, going below here. Nice transition onto the sausage. Very difficult transition there, as we see previously. But yeah, here we will see the comparison now between Dropkick Drum and Pilosus, because they have very similar solutions. And let's take a look. So following Pilosus, he clips through there, but actually has less speed this time around. There he gets a better transition though, now goes wider into the finish, but 200 slower. Just 200 slower. Very difficult route, I think, for both of them. You can definitely see the small differences here between them. Quite hard to spot, but that made up a 200th of a second between them. Next one is Kavianiki finding a very, very aggressive plastic bounce line there again. Definitely struggling a little bit with the penalty after, but I think she made it work well. This is a really hard strat going to the right there. Very smooth transition onto the wood at the end as well. Using both boosters in the start and just trying to keep speed. It's very short distance, this one here by Kavianiki, and then of course finish as well, very tight. The next one after this is Phobos with a .95 of, and look at this, a .55, I'm sorry. What a plastic bounce by Phobos, jumping up to the left, then tight line through there, through the black platform, and what a sick plastic bounce there, just keeping all of the momentum instantly on the booster as well. Really, really cool stuff by Phobos here for the .55. But we keep it we are keeping it going with user 45 now as well. I know he hunted a lot for this solution as well, doing both boosts at the start, then big jump onto the wood in the back, trying to keep a lot of speed here. onto the wood in the end, tight turn and into the finish. Just super wide jump here. And trying to keep as much speed as possible onto the black platform and then into the finish. Next one by Evo, a very similar solution here, or actually not that similar. He's going with very cool transitions here at the start, with the black platform through the checkpoint, just skirting below, and then using the wood there to turn just a tiny bit tighter around the turn and into the finish. It's just so difficult here, but he keeps a little bit more speed with that wood, a lot tighter of a line, just way less distance than we saw previously. Cool stuff by Evo there. Very cool stuff. Quick section there. We went from a point 69 to a point 52 in these last 8 runs that we just speed ran through. Cool stuff by all of you for sure. But we keep going faster. That was a point 52 by Dennis. And the next one we are looking at is... wait, that was a point 52 by Evo. This is a point 51 now by Dennis. And he's bringing back the old route. So, the long route, I mean. We have not seen this in a very long time. He's going wide around there with the road up here and then roof it into the finish. Point 51, just barely faster than the runs we saw previously. All of those being very close, of course. So yeah, we have not seen this route in a while. This route has the characteristic of basically being a very big circle. Very big circle and needing to do basically kind of a reuse here. When you go across this route, you do not want to block this path here. Quite important. Can be sometimes tricky depending on the blocks you use. And also very notable, it's probably the longest distance route that we see people use because this checkpoint here is so far away from the finish. It is really far away, but he managed to make it work with a very straight line through the checkpoint and then into the finish as well. Also using 2 boosters here very elegantly, from that booster there onto this booster here, 2 wood blocks as well to turn quicker, and then with the roof fit into the finish. Yeah, really cool stuff by Dennis here. The thing is, of course, as I said, he is driving longer distance, but therefore he has wider lines which keep more speed. He basically keeps 250 speed throughout the entire run. So he has a very fast route, but it's obvious, like speed-wise, very speedy route. But of course, it's a further distance than what the other players have come up with. That's why maybe this route also looks faster than some other runs, but therefore, of course, he's traveling more a distance, and it all kind of balances itself out to a 9.51 by Dennis. The next one I want to take a look at is 500s faster yet again. It is by Sunjabob. Sunjabob with a point 46. And here we go, the 61st one already. You have sent in so many replays, actually insane. It's a point 46, and he is going to the right side again. Over the water there, onto the dirt, wide line here, try to keep as much speed as possible. Plastic bounce there, inside into the finish. Double booster here onto the dirt once again, to get rid of the wet wheels. Then plastic bounce there, dropping down, instantly landing on the wood, which is very important to keep the speed. But yeah, cool stuff here by Sunjabob to get the point 46. One thing that has to be mentioned as well, yet again, he's using this wood block here, which is a little bit in the way here at the start. He has to go around, he can only steer later, and because of that, he doesn't have the smoothest line here. Tiny detail. And then of course also here, he has to go over the dirt to get rid of the wet wheels. Therefore, of course, he's not using a lot of blocks for this section to make this work and keeps a lot of speed. Look at this, 250, 260 speed across this section here, completely flat line. And then with the plastic bounce here, also keeps really good speed. Without a booster, he's still up to 230, 240 speed here into the finish. Really cool stuff by Sunjabob as well. Going closer to Margie's run, maybe? Surely, yeah. Margie's run that she drove on stream was a point 50. Maybe we will see a faster one later. Or maybe she forgot to submit. It's a 50-50 to be honest. Did she find something better or did she forget to submit? That's the question. We have a point 46 now by Bagel. 3,000ths of a second faster. And he is going to the left side, onto the wood, then a tight turn around here, and then just takes the ramp with the roof hit over the wood into the finish. So I have to say, Bagel was pretty mad, I think, about these trees at the end, and I understand him. I very much understand him. Therefore, I am mad about the flickering. So I think it's fair. He was definitely very mad about these trees. I think those cost him a lot of runs at the very end. But yeah, cool stuff by Bagel, jumping with a wood block. We haven't seen that yet. We usually see here this block here, for example, to jump up to the left, or this platform here to jump up to the left. But he is actually using the wood block at the start to take the booster, jump smooth onto this, and then yet again, as we saw previously, low line through this turn. But then, as I said, when you do this turn here, there's not really any option for you to get up here, to get over this ramp. But he doesn't care. He just tanks it. He just tanks the ramp with a plastic bounce immediately. Also, reuses this wood, so he uses it once here, and then after the ramp, he uses it again to turn quicker to the left, instantly on this uphill here as well to get onto the booster. Tight turn, just barely gets around to then land on the wood here and into the finish. How many blocks could you use? There were 16 available. So basically this plastic block was one. You had the this wood block here, this wood block, a turn. You also have this uphill block here, the sausage booster and the turn as well. And also this black platform and the flat block that I don't think he actually used anywhere, really. He only used it here to create this this monstrosity at the ending. But yeah, basically there was 8 different blocks available for you to use to make the route faster, and I gave you 2 of each. Each one of them had 2 available. That is the run by Bagel. Very nice run. All right. Then, next one, we keep going. It is a Crazy with a 300th of a second improvement, a point of 43. And going to the right again, across here, wood into wood, really clean line there, super inside as well, keeping the speed, transitions across with the wood as well and into the finish. I love this transition here, like at the start, it's really clean. First of all, from the booster onto this, just smooth, and then jump from this onto another wood, really clean, and also really gets a good turnaround here. This must be so hard to drive, especially getting inside here, and then also not getting a slowdown as much from this penalty. There's not that much space there. But then he also found an interesting thing, and that is of course this right here. He just the problem is, right, this is 3 blocks long, this distance, and then you have another 2 block distance. So you need to cross 5 blocks in a straight line, but these blocks are only 2 blocks long. So what does he do? He just places 2 of them. He just places 2 of them, and because of that he has a very small jump here, a much better one than if you use, for example, the wood, which is much better used at the ending to get an inside line there. Then over the wood there, keep the speed, and then with the wood a very inside line into the finish as well. I did 25 plus hours on this. That's crazy. But cool to see you participating here, and definitely I think learning a lot through this. Cool stuff, definitely very cool stuff to see, and a nice run here as well. You can always see from everybody, like so many people spending a lot of time on their routes. This is of course a puzzle and a driving competition at the same time, you know? Like there's half of it is the actual driving that you do on the run itself, but the other half is how do you build the map? That is the challenge of this, which I think is just so fascinating. How do you tackle it? I can tell you the next person definitely hunted a lot as well. It is Rock Skater with a point 35. He is going to the left as well, getting a point 35 for himself. Definitely worked very, very hard for this one. And coming up here now, it is 800ths of a second faster by Rockskater. So going up here onto the left side, then onto the wood, finding this platform transition as well, from the wood there onto the sausage and into the finish. He sent in quite a few replays as well, trying lots of different things, hunting a lot as well. He had a different route that he hunted a lot, and then I think he changed it on the last day, where he managed to improve by 1/10. So definitely worked very hard on this one for the point 35. Was able to get the top 10 last time. I think he got 7th last edition. Let's see if we are in the top 10 this time. We will see. We will see. So far, this is already 64 submissions. Do you think we have 74 total? That's the question. Or do we have more entries? But yeah, going up here with the wood, landing here, then very wide line across this. Again, as I said previously, this platform block is just the best to gain the height onto this. This is just really smooth onto the wood. Then again, it's the same issue that also Granadi had, if you remember. He's jumping here and he's only really getting half of the booster, which can slow you down a little bit. But then nice wood transition there as well for the finish and just jumping all the way to the finish pretty much. Very, very clean stuff here by Rockskater, getting himself a point 35. All right, but it is time, which might scare a few people, for another montage. As another montage that I set up. We are going through the next runs. These are very good, I have to say. They are very good, but they are very close to each other as well. Let's take a look at what they came up with. The first one being Maverick with a point 32. So another 300ths of a second faster, going to the right side over the wood there. Very nice transition. So he's taking this wide line again, as we saw previously as well, getting a lot of speed through there, and then onto the wood platform across, and gets a very fast run here with a point 32. Very nice stuff. We can also look at a comparison here now between him and Sanchabob. So Sanchabob did a very, very similar line as we saw previously, but then slight differences here with the plastic bounce, losing him a little bit of speed. Oh, I cut that wrong. Oh, we will see that 2 times now. Ah, shit. But a lot smoother in the ending, just keeping more speed. Nice stuff by Maverick here. Very similar solutions. And maybe we see something similar again. We'll see. The next one that we want to take a look at is actually Viovis now, and I already leaked the next person. This is Viovis, the point 27, which he wrote was a point 72 actually. So he's going up to the left through the platform, then takes the ramp into the plastic bounce to keep the speed, also landing on wood to do a direct turn. Similar stuff to what we saw earlier as well. Nice stuff by Viovis. Then Yumi, sorry for the leak, going for a very similar line as well, also over the wood there. One additional block to going a little bit smoother, and then both of the black platform blocks at the end actually to do a flat line. Using the black platform blocks at the end for a flat transition is really interesting. But yeah, going over the wood here, doing the platform transition, we've seen that before. Cool stuff as well with the wall. We're getting a point 26. And now the next one, very similar as well, is K1K with a point 25. Now I finally also know how to pronounce it. It is not kick, it is K1K actually. Finding a very similar solution here, going a bit over the penalty there, but then a much faster ending for him. And catching back up. We will also see a comparison here as well now between K1K and Yumi. So very similar there. Then going onto the same block, Yumi gaining a little bit of speed there, but not going over the penalty. But then wider line into the finish and getting overtaken by K1K. Like really close stuff. We are really getting optimized at this point. Like this is actually getting over very optimized here. Really close stuff between the two. The next one that we have is by Tuluduru. And this is yet again another 200th of a second faster, going for the super wide line that we saw previously. Very similar to Maverick, for example, earlier as well. Going over the dirt, just wide line, keep a lot of speed, just great execution by him here. Keeping a bit more speed, just driving a little bit faster on the end straight especially, to keep a bit more speed. Nice stuff by Tududu for a point at 23. And who is the 69th replay? It is Penguin Slide with a point at 20. Also finding a plastic bounce here, just going more inside instantly onto a booster here as well. Finding a very similar line to what I think Margie found at the very end of her stream as well, but just improving it very well. Nice run here by Penguin Slide. Quite a few improvements here. And then we have Jozo. Now, funny story about Jozo. He submitted his first replay on the very first day or the second day and said he had to go away. He got himself a point 182. He had to go away for the week. Then he was at his brother's place and decided to play the map there again. Found another route, submitted it, didn't remember the time, and it ended up being an exact tie. He drove an exact tie. Both runs were a .182. Literally tied. Both runs, and he didn't remember what the time was. So he drove 2 runs with the exact same time. The next one is Naughty here with a .18, also hunting a lot. T1F player coming in. Really smooth transition here at the middle part with the black platform, keeping a lot of speed. Then has to drift at the end a little bit though, so dropping a little bit of speed there. But great run by Naughty. Then another insane route here by Solbur as well, a .16. Going over the booster, over the black platform, double wood there as well to get a more inside line. Cool transition here as well, tight finish, great stuff by Solbur for a .16. Like, that's a really cool transition there, keeping more speed that way into the finish. And then the last one we have here is Madsets. Wait, I wasn't supposed to show this one. Never mind. Anyways, this is Madsets with a .15. Going over the wood, then onto the ground here, plastic bounce on there, dropping below, and then onto the black platform. Nice stuff by Madsets here as well. Cool stuff by him. All right. That went a little bit too quick. Damn, this is hard to keep up with. Maybe I need to show the runs a little bit more often. I want to actually quickly show 2 things extra because that went a little bit too quick even for me now. I've never tried that before. With so many routes now and so many submissions, trying to go a little bit faster so we're not here for 3 hours. Those runs were really close. They went from a .32 to a .16. That was, I believe, like 9 runs or something that we just watched. And they improved by 1500ths only. Super close between them. But first of all, want to point out again the closeness of Jozo's runs here. So literally, we built the route on a different PC and then just ended up with the exact same time. How does this happen? He literally, like, the thing is, he didn't remember because he didn't have his replay anymore. Look at that. What is this? Just crazy stuff that he exactly tied. Both of them 182. Just insane. All right, the next one after this is that I want to also mention. An extra thing from Madsets that I want to mention here is that he wrote specifically that he is hoping for top 20 with this run. This one looks really good, right? Like, this one looks really good. He goes up there, then with the plastic keeps a lot of speed. Really smooth transition onto the boost there to keep a lot of speed. Like, he has 300 speed into the finish, right? He is hoping for a top 20 with this one. Has been improving a lot. Now, is it enough? That's the question. Is it enough, this one? Like, where do you really gain that much here, right? This is looking really good. He keeps so much speed there. Really well hunted, this one especially as well. How do you want to gain much more on this one? Is it enough? We will see. Next one that we're gonna look at. Well, that's one that he's losing. by 0.003 of a second only. It is Supernova with a point 15. Just 0.003 ahead of Matsets. And he's also going to the left side. Let's take a look. Very similar strat here. Then going over with the wood turn, and then same ending as well. This must be so hard. Look at this line. First of all, you have to go as high as possible here to the checkpoint, but not hit it. And why do you have to go so high? Because you have to get over this edge. That's such a difficult strat that Supernova did here, but manages to survive it. Smooth the landing out here a little bit with the platform uphill. But really, really difficult stuff. But that way, has a smooth transition here. Also then a smooth transition onto the booster. Similar line here again. A lot of people found this one. With the sausage onto the wood turn right here, and then into the finish. Also, by the way, I didn't mention that earlier. That was the last montage. That was certainly the last montage for today that I prepared. So wink, wink, getting slowly to the end game. Very cool stuff by Supernova. Yeah, surely Margie is coming up soon, right? Surely she wouldn't have forgot to send in, right? Surely Margie didn't forget to send in. Nice run here by Supernova with a point 15. Alright, and the next run, I'm pretty excited for this one as well. It is Elcon coming in the 75th repay with a point 13. Just missing out on the sub, and this is what Elcon came up with. So starting on the booster, then instantly to the left uphill, over the platform, then over top here, plastic bounce, over the platform, onto booster, into the finish. This looks sick. Like, this looks so sick. I can say Elcon submitted quite a few runs, I think like 4 or 5 runs this time, and they were such a joy to watch. I kind of want to show you all of them, but that would be unfair. But so many creative solutions by Elcon. Like, he just finds so much cool stuff. The thing is always like the question when you find something super creative, either you're getting first or you're not getting first. This is a very sick solution, but the one thing that is holding him back a little bit is the late booster. He is getting the booster very late, and that way he accelerates a lot later. A lot of players manage to place the booster here and then already accelerate to like 300 speed, whereas Elcon only gets it like half a second later and then goes on to the booster. And on a map this short, we're already like almost at 9 seconds at this point. Any tiny detail matters. I really love this transition though, like what a lovely transition. First of all, a smooth turn here, finding the way below the checkpoint as well. Cool stuff with this, wood across here, then plastic bounce onto this, just so smooth. I love it. That's like the perfect block to place there. Nice turn around here as well, onto the booster, and then that just such a smooth line into the finish. Such a smooth line. Lovely run by Elcon with a point 13. But of course, the very next run is 2,000 of a second faster. Yeah, hello guys, it is Hugo with a point 132. Elcon at a point 134. It's just 2,000 of a second. And Hugo is going left side yet again, same strat, also doing the same wood turns here, but going for very aggressive roof it, then tight line there, instant boost, and into the finish. So going much more aggressive here, as we can see. So he's going up with the ramp as well, but then instant roof it over the sausage here, barely gets around with the turn, onto the booster immediately, instantly up to speed, then onto the wood, directly making the turn, doesn't have to slow down at all, and then drives across here with the platforms to keep the speed, keep the momentum building from the booster, and into the finish. Really nice stuff. What a lovely run by Hugo here. Like, really, really cool solution, I think, by Hugo. Great, great run. Just keeps so nice speed with this platform here. Really sick stuff. We're getting ever closer to a sub 9. Will we see it? That was a point 13. The next run is a point 10 by Marius89. Sent in at the very end, of course, on the last day with a point 10. Managed to get, I think, top 6 last time. Let's see what position he got this time around. I can actually show that as a sorry, as a reminder as well, what we are fighting for. This is the system today, or in general for the season. We have 6 editions. This is the second one, and the top 20 get points for the season standings. So 20th to 11th all get 1 point, then 10th gets 2, then 9th gets 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, until 4th place, then 2 extra points for 3rd, another 2 extra points for 2nd, 12 points, and then 1st place comes home with 15 points and another 50 euros as well for winning the edition. And of course, for the season itself, whoever has the most points wins the most money there, of course, as well. 1st place coming home with 300 euro. This is what we are fighting for. And Marius last time got himself a 7th place. He got 5 points last time around. Let's see what position it is this time around. Marius, the 77th replay we are seeing so far today with a point 10. Let's take a look. So, it's only going for 1 booster at the start. Going to the right, double wood there as well. Slowing down for the boost to get the full effect and then wallbang finish. A point 10 for Marius with a very different solution here. We have not seen this one before, really. This kind of idea. So he's going up here with just 1 booster, double wood transition. In general, all of these transitions are insane. I love these transitions. First from the booster, then he uses 1 small sausage block here as well. This one, to just make this transition a bit smoother. If you imagine this transition without this block, would be much more bumpy. With the sausage block, it is a lot smoother. And then from this black platform onto this one, onto the wall ride, then onto platform, onto wood, just insane stuff. Then slows down here to 150, but therefore is super smooth onto the booster, gets a smooth transition here as well onto the platform to go across with so much speed, 300 speed across here, onto the wood, tight turnaround here as well, just this entire section here, he's driving on wood basically. Just 1 wood block up, 1 wood block down basically. Just really clean, saving up the wood blocks for the end, and then also finding a wall bang into the finish to just get that a little bit tighter. This sausage block, especially on the right route, when you do this way around, this sausage block was very hard to use, but Marius finding a use for it with a wall bang at the very end. A point 10. Very nice stuff by Marius there. And then the next one, you might remember him from the last edition. It is Schuldenberater with a 0.06. So I can tell about Schuldenberater already. He got very scared after last time. If you remember, maybe he said last time for every sub 11 that was submitted, he was going to give 1 sub. And last time he had to give 18 subs because of that. This time, he is even more confident in his route though, for good reason as well. This is a very good one. But he went even more conservative. He really didn't want to lose money. So he set an 8.4, which would be 6 cents faster than this, which is just ridiculous. He said if you would get a sub or an 8.4, then he would give a sub for that. And he's asking for a deal that if there's no 8.4, then I have to give him a sub. I don't like that deal. Can I not take that deal? But anyways, Schuldenberater with a 0.06 here. Great stuff. And let's take a look at what he's doing. Going to the left, uphill, just the classic stuff here, over the wood, then plastic bounce onto the sausage down, keep the lot of speed, and into the finish. So we have seen this transition quite a few times now. This wood block is really nice for getting around this checkpoint. We've seen it a few times now, but it's very hard to use because obviously this wood block is going like this, but there's the checkpoint that you want to get. If you continue driving here, you don't really get into the right direction, or if you jump out here. So that's why all of them that are using this strat here, with going over this ramp, basically this edge with this block, they have to use a plastic bounce here. And he found a very nice solution by just dropping down onto the sausage, keeping more speed, onto the booster, and then into the finish with the platform. Nice stuff by Schuldenberater. Going around here with the wood, just high wood abuse, lots of speed here. Also, one thing that we don't see that often is that he used the platform upwards to get over this border. Again, very easy to forget about because everybody is dodging it, of course. But there is a border here that you have to get over. There's a reason why everybody is doing some kind of jump, some kind of transitions here at the ending, because you have to get over this border to get to the finish. And that's of course one thing that is intentionally there to make it a little bit more interesting, to give you obstacles. It's quite an interesting science, trying to build a puzzle map and trying to balance everything and giving you obstacles to overcome with the blocks. I think it turned out really well here. But yeah, nice stuff by Schuldenberater with a 0.06. We're not done yet though. Are we getting to the sub 10? No, it is a 0.034. 34 thousandths away, chatting by Nida. Let's take a look at what Nida came up with here. Going to the left as well, over the wood, then over the platform here, and also using the roof it again with the ramp. We haven't seen this in a little bit. So going with the wood here over the platform, we've seen this idea quite a bit, quite a few times, but he's just getting the booster after a lot cleaner than other players that we've seen before. So especially this transition here onto the plastic bounce, already aiming very well for that booster. He has a lot of speed here still, 180 speed, and then immediately gets up to the booster, goes up to 300 speed over the wood, and then also nice transition here with the black platform into the finish. Insane stuff with a 0.03, and for this I also want to take a look at a comparison again for Nida against Schuldenberater. So let's take a look at the comparison between them. So very similar start. We've seen this start quite often. Nida going a little bit more inside here, then going over this black platform. Schuldenberater going higher up and is temporarily ahead here, doing a different roof bounce now though, which gives Nida a bit more speed than over the wood as well, keeping more speed, landing earlier and getting the snipe into the finish. So it's really this ending that made the difference between them. So both of them get the booster here, but then the wood turn for Nida just barely overtaking Schuldenberater with more speed into the finish. But yet, it was not enough for both of them to get the sub. But the next person did manage to get it. A sub 9 seconds time. Can you believe that? The route that you're seeing on the screen, the original route, was 18 seconds long. The one that I gave you, the normal route, was 18 seconds long, and you halved the time at this point. You are literally driving it 2 times faster. And the person to do it first is also a first-time participant of the competition. It is Tunix with a 0.998, really cutting it close. Nice to see Tunix participating for the first time, and she is going to the right side first, doing a double wood line onto the wall right here, and then smooth transitions there across over the wood and into the finish. Nice to see Tunix participating here for the first time. Cool wood, cool transitions here as well. I love the double wood at the end as well. So basically there's 2 sections of double wood. Why is the first one significant? It's basically making it so that you can steer on this first one a little bit, to then have to steer less on the next one and keep a bit more speed, get a bit of a better angle. So basically by using these 2 wood blocks, just keeping a bit more speed, also helps of course with the trajectory, with the jump and stuff like that, but especially with the angle, it's very useful. Then here again, you might see that again at some point. We're not quite done yet. This transition here, this wall ride fits so perfectly, But, of course, there's a tree and a ramp in the way from the original route, which can make it quite difficult to navigate. But yeah, then going through here, threading the needle on this transition, then just straightening it out barely here, and then another small optimization. A lot of people just use this wood turn, or just this wood platform here. But of course, if you only use one here, you have a little bit of a jump. You have a little bit of airtime, so you lose a little bit of speed. What Tunix does is going smooth onto it to go a little bit quicker and into the finish. Nice stuff by Tunix. But Tunix was not the only one who got a 0.99, because the next run is also by a first-time submitter, and it's only 4 thousandths of a second faster. A 994 by Maimo Jr. Maimo Jr. participating for the first time here, and he is going to the left side. Tunix was going to the right. Maimo Jr. goes to the left. Let's take a look. Jump up there over the wood. Then tight line here also takes the ramp into a plastic bounce, and then wood ending into the finish. We've seen this before. This is basically a combination of what we've seen previously. Very well executed here by Maimo Jr. Nice stuff to see for sure. Kyle Jr. after this. Dude, Kyle Jr. would have been in the first 10 replays we would have seen. Imagine Kyle Jr. in the map editor. No, I'm kidding. Would be really fun. Definitely would love to see. But yeah, Maimo Jr. over the ramp with the plastic bounce onto the sausage there. Very clean transition. And then into the finish. Nice stuff by Maimo Jr. Threading the needle, just barely getting into the sub 9 seconds. Also very similar to Nida's route earlier that we saw, but just those 400s faster, and then in the end, it makes a difference. It makes a difference. Well, let's take a look at the next run, because Tunix wasn't the only one with a 0.99. And Maimo Jr. is also not the only one with a 0.99, because the next one is also by another first-time submitter, and also just 1,000th of a second faster. It's Sapi, 1,000th faster with a 993, just beating out Maimo Jr. by the skin of his teeth. Let's take a look at his run, doing the same strat here to the left, then taking the platform uphill onto the transition here, onto the wood at the end, and then into the finish from that side. Very similar ideas yet again, just slightly different executions here, and they just come out with the exact same time basically the exact same time for Sapi here against Maimo Jr. And this one we have to take a look at a comparison between the two. Also with Tunix in here as well, just so close. Let's take a look what they do. So, of course, Sapi and Maimo Jr. go to the left at the start. Tunix goes to the right. Different strategies here of going onto the wood. Sapi went for a little bit more of a wobble, whereas Maimo Jr. went more straight in the end. It's pretty equal here, but Sapi a little bit ahead. Then Sapi goes over the black platform here onto this upper platform, whereas Maimo Jr. is going more inside and taking a plastic bounce. With that is temporarily in the lead, but Sapi has more speed, now going onto the wood. Then smooth transition here, keeps accelerating, comes into the finish, and is just 1,000th of a second faster somehow. And of course, Tunix also coming in from the other side at the same point as well. This is the difference between them. 3 players within 5,000ths of a second. I wish we could see this even closer, but for some reason the replays cut off at this time. I don't know why, but they cut off here already, so we cannot see the exact trajectory over the line. If you want to know, here you can see the times on the left side. 998 for Tunix, 994 for Maimo Jr., and a 993 for Sapi. Can also watch that in full speed again as well from Sapi's perspective, where you can really see the difference. So they're doing very similar here. Then Sapi with the jump, losing a bit of speed, but then coming back with more speed over the platform, accelerating, and just 1,000th of a second faster. Yeah, Margie was still not here. Where's Margie? Surely she would have not forgotten to submit, right? Surely not. The next one is not a few thousands faster. Instead, it is 500th of a second faster. A 0.94 by Onion. Huge jump here with a 948 by Onion. And he is going to the right side with the double booster, double wood here as well, all over the wall right, clean transition there and into the finish. We have seen this kind of strat before. It's very similar to what Tunix did, but just a tiny bit more optimized, especially the wobble at the end. The wobble at the end is crazy that Onion does. Here you can really see that hunting is also just really important, because when it's only a few hundredths of a second making the difference between so many positions, it really matters. But I love this transition to just get it a little bit smoother, going over here just barely over the platform and keeping the grip. Also another small optimization by Onion as well, places the wider platform, wood platform here to have a little bit less airtime, because there is already a wood platform here, but it's lower, so you have more airtime and you lose more speed. This way he can do the turn a tiny bit earlier and keep a bit more speed into the finish. I definitely want to check out a comparison here as well between Onion and Tunix as well. So here we can take a look at the comparison from Onion's point of view. So they do a very similar strat here with the two wood blocks. Then on the wall right, Onion going wider for more exit speed. Similar blocks here, basically the same thing, but then Onion goes a bit more inside, also more inside there, then has a bit of airtime, but stays in the lead over Tunix. So Tunix went up here, similar wood transition then, the same wall right here as well, is in the lead here, but then this tiny wider line that she has to do gives her less speed because she has to turn more, and even though she reduces airtime in the end, it is not enough to catch up to Onion. The next run you have been waiting for. Did she forget to submit or did she not? She did not. Margie coming in, beating out 83 other players with this sub 9 seconds time, just 0.003 of a second faster, with a 0.945. Insane. I am actually proud. I am really proud. Margie, not only am I proud about your time, but you also didn't forget to submit as well. Here we go. 0.94 by Margie, and this is actually very optimized. Let's take a look. Booster to the left, jump up here over the wood, also finding the platform, but then does a roof it over the booster with the wood into the finish. Very nice stuff by Margie. And this plastic bounce here we have not seen before, and it just gives her a little bit more speed on this landing because she lands a bit early and can turn earlier as well. Does, like, the plastic bounce does a little bit of the turning for her, and it gives her that tiny bit more speed. She has so much speed here, especially. She goes up to like 317 speed there already. Which is just insane. It's so fast, reaching over 300 speed on this track. Very difficult, especially in only 9 seconds. Yeah, insane stuff by Margie. A lot of people noticed that she spent like 4 hours cooking on stream, trying to find a good route. I think she spent more time off stream on cooking this. She had a very similar route that she found there, but just managing to optimize especially this section here. This section was optimized a lot by just going a little bit smoother here, more flat, not wasting that much airtime, and just keeping the speed over the platform. Nice inside line here, nice one as well with the platform across, and straight line into the finish. 0.94. Very nice stuff by Margie. I was gonna compare a comparison as well. This is your correct one, Margie. There's a 0.94. 945. This is the correct one. I don't know what you are seeing, but that is your correct one. Alright, she did send 0.99 also a day earlier as well, but she did manage to improve, and that actually gained a lot of positions as well. Alright. Very nice stuff by Margie. Let's take a look now at the comparison between Margie and Maimo Jr. and Sapi. Let's take a look at the comparison between that. Margie forgot to send to 7.3. Maybe there's another one that I don't know of that she actually forgot. Who knows? But this is the fastest one that I received from her at least. Alright, let's take a look at the comparison between them. It's very similar routes, of course. So Margie at the start, a little bit behind with the worst transition, but then smoother line here with the plastic bounce and gets more speed. You see right here, Sapi has 213 speed. If we look at Maimo Jr. as well, Maimo Jr. with only 190 speed after the plastic bounce. Margie with the most speed here, and it's kind of funny, Maimo Jr. will end up last from these because the speed at this section is just so important, especially because of this wood transition here, because you can keep your entire speed with it and just barely overtaking on the finish line. If the finish was like one block earlier, this line would have not been faster. It's those tiny differences, also for me when mapping as well, those tiny differences making the some routes faster or slower. Yeah, nice stuff here between the three, all managing to get a sub 9 second time. Once here again, I just imagine that Margie just wants to see her overtaking Maimo. Great stuff, but also great stuff from them as well, of course. That was the 84th run. But Margie did not manage to win. There is still more coming. And here we go with the next one. It is Nitra. Nitra with a point 92. Another 200ths of a second faster. It's getting really, really close here. Going for the right side again. Smooth platform there. Double wood as we've seen previously. Wall wide over with the wood. Very inside line. Very aggressive into the finish. So this is very similar stuff to what we've seen previously. Just executed in slightly different ways. What we will see is that a lot of people use the very similar strats here in the start for these jumps and the double wood, the wall ride, but then the transitions that they do here for these sections and into the finish vary widely. There's basically two blocks that you can use here at the end. One is this black platform that Nitra is using, or you can use the long wood platform here as well. You can use this one as well, but then you can't use it here. You have to weigh your options. Where are these blocks the most useful? Where do you want to use them? That's the important question. And Nitra with a very nice run here, getting himself a point 92. Very nice stuff. Right here, also trying to go, of course, very inside, very important always as well at the end. All right, the next one that we're gonna take a look at is yet again only 100th of a second faster. It's just so close between them. It is a 0.912, 100th of a second faster, going to the left at the start by Foxelf. Finding a different route here, going over wood there as well with the platform and into the finish. So different setup as than others. He is actually dropping down here, but therefore stays on wood pretty much the entire time, especially here. This transition again is really hard to do optimally, very hard to drive. But then smooth transition there, gets a lot of speed, goes up to 320 speed here. I think the fastest speed we've seen so far. Yeah, right here you can see in the bottom right corner. 320 speed in this section. And yeah, great speed into the finish, which gains him a lot. Just basically he doesn't need any blocks for the finish. He just jumps all the way, you know, because he built up the speed previously. Nice stuff by Foxelf. And here I would also like to take a look at a comparison between Foxelf and Margie. Right here, let's take a look. So if we take a look at this from Margie's point of view, we see that she's a little bit behind in the start, then gets a smoother line though, and is a bit more inside here, has more speed at that section, and then into the finish, very similar strats, but a Foxilf 300ths of a second faster in the end. Just a 300ths of a second making the difference here. One thing you can definitely say, I'm sorry for calling out Margie here, but Foxilf hunted this route, I believe he rode for 5 hours. He hunted or at least the puzzle competition for 5 hours, he said in the route. And I believe his route is worse than what Margie came up here, but with the hunting, managed to overtake her, actually, with just better execution. Like, he gains a little bit here with a more inside line. And then also here, getting a very nice transition from this across here. I think Margie's route was faster in the end, but Foxilf managed to just grind his route out for 5 hours and in the end managed to overtake and get the position, which actually in this case then worked out for him, because as we've seen, the previous runs were so close. The hunting was really, really worth it at these positions. But funny thing is, he maybe should have hunted like a little bit more, because Galenium has the exact same time. It's a 912 as well. It's tied. It's an exact equal between Galenium and Foxilf. Should have gotten 1000 of a second faster. Unlucky. The funny thing though is Galenium is taking the other route. He's going to the right. He's going over the wood onto the wall right line. We've seen it before, and we might see it again as well. This is just a very nice route, which a lot of people were able to find, and just with a bit better execution here, managing to get at the exact same time, but just submitted a little bit earlier, I believe, than Foxilf in the end. Also, I do want to check out a comparison here, but I just noticed that I didn't set that up previously, so let me quickly get the comparison in between the two, because I just want to show just how close it is between them, between Galenium and Foxilf here, both of them with the exact same time. And of course, they are going in 2 different directions, which is so cool. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, they go completely different routes here. Like, other direction, especially in this section. Like, this section doing 2 different routes here, and it's also very different executions always. Because like right here, you always want to go flat, whereas when you go this direction, you pretty much always want to do a wall ride, which is so fascinating. Like, it's the same turn, just the other way around, but it's always a different execution, which is so cool. But yeah, then they come around like this. 87 runs now. Yeah, we have already surpassed the highest number of runs for a puzzle competition. But then they come into the finish from 2 different sides, and it's the exact same time. It's literally the exact same time between them. This is how close it gets. What is this? What are you doing? Absolutely insane. 912 and 912 for both of them. Now the question is this top 10? And do I have to do a tiebreaker between them? Because as we can see, of course, in the system, from top 10, the positions matter. Or is it only a top 20? I mean, I can definitely tell you this is top 20. If you haven't gathered that yet, it is definitely at least top 20. If it's top 20, they both get 1 point. And I don't have to do a tiebreaker because I didn't actually set that up. Or probably if I do a tiebreaker, they both get the same points, by the way. I wouldn't care who submits first. Probably both of them would get the same points, just saying. But yeah, did I do that? Or did I do that not? Or did I not do that? That's the question. Let's take a look at the next ones, because we're not done yet. After Galenium, we have the next one, just again, 100th of a second faster. It is Tenshi with a .899. And we will see It's basically the same thing again. Double wood into a wall ride on the black platform, but found a wallbang finish. Look at that. A new wallbang finish by Tenchi. Also really smooth run there as well, where she gets a little bit closer into the finish. We saw it previously already with Marius. It's basically the same block that she is using here as Marius did as well. It's just one block higher. And with this, you just barely fit through here to get a bit tighter. You just want to get over the line as early as possible, pretty much. So nice stuff here by Tenchi, a small improvement. Otherwise, it is a double wood turn here. You get more tight into this. Very nice transition here, by the way, for Tenchi. No airtime whatsoever in this section, which is very important, I think. Just barely keeping grip onto the wood, and then also nice trajectory over there into the finish. Nice run by Tenchi. Also here, I would like to take a look at a quick comparison, because we've had so many runs now with the same strat, and let's take a look at what actually separates them. We had so many people now with the same ideas here, from Tunix to Onion, Nitra, Galenium, and a Tenchi. And let's take a look. All of them starting with a double booster, going onto the platform, then jumping up here. Double wood now for all of them. Some people placing it early here, some other people placing it a little bit later. Then some people going wide, Onion and Nitra you can see going for a very wide line, whereas Tenchi, Galenium and Tunix go more inside. Then through the checkpoint here, by the way, this only barely fits. Like, look how close this is anyways with going underneath this. Then we can see that the players who were behind earlier have a little bit more speed now with the wider line coming into the last section here. Now some people going low and over the wood, some people going high and using the black platform. Then they come all into this. Some people going low here again and just jumping onto a black platform here. Some people staying on the platform and going higher. Nitra going the most inside, and Galenium and Tunix going the most outside into this. And then they all come around this turn, just following the line here. Who has the most speed? Different lines here as well on the last trajectory, and then they come into the finish. And we see it is actually Nitra on first place, but Nitra getting sniped by Tenchi doing the wallbang. Look at how inside Tenchi gets the wallbang, getting the snipe. And Tenchi was not the only one with the snipe, because Galenium was also 1/100th of a second faster than Nitra by going more inside into the finish, as you can see there. Just finishing 1/100th faster than it's Nitra. All of them basically ending at the same spot here. You can see when these runs can actually end. It's always at the same spots. Basically, that's how the goals work in this game. They can only end at like these times, like a .90, a .85, you know. That's a weird thing, 97 here, for example. And then at the end, it's Tunix. Just a little bit behind, but it made a lot of positions. Tunix was how many positions? 8 positions behind Tenchi. Tenchi finishes now. Tuni finishes now. That's the difference. 1/10. And it's 8 positions. Over 8 positions of a difference between them. Insane stuff, honestly. Actually insane. Let's take a look now, because we're not done yet. It is the next one. We keep it going. It is Lars with a .85. Let's take a look. I do also hear that a lot of people spend a lot of time, which is really cool to see. Nitra's copium was a .88. Damn, that was close. But it's always a good learning experience, I think. When you spend a lot of time on the puzzle, you learn a lot from just seeing what the others did and what you can maybe now implement. What did you not think about? You know, that's a very useful thing. And this is now what Lars does. And he is going to the left again. Goes to the left up here over the wood, then creates a black platform there. Then same transition as always with the wood and into the finish. One major new thing that he does in this route is that he basically creates first of all, a smoother transition at the start by placing the sausage turn right here inside of the start block like this, so he gets a bit of a smoother transition onto the black platform and gets a lower jump here, lands early, goes very inside here. You can see how hunting is very important at this point. And then here he basically creates a black platform for this section here with these two wall web blocks interconnected like this. I didn't give you a proper block for this, so this is the best you could do otherwise. Then with the wood, with the here uphill platform over this onto the wood, tight turn to the left over the booster, and then wood into the finish, just able to get himself a point 85. Really, really close stuff. Here again, this is very similar to Margie's board, so I again wanna compare this as well between the two, because I think it's fairly interesting. So first of all, we see already at the start, slightly different trajectory here with that one sausage block added. With that, Lars gets a bit of a better transition there. Then here, smoother into this, keeps more speed, goes more inside. Look how inside he goes. And with that, gets onto the booster way earlier. Maybe has a little bit less speed than Margie at this point, but has so much speed and still keeps it into the finish for a full 1/10 of a second faster than her. Great stuff by Margie. Really, really great, not by Margie, by Lars Nox, by Margie as well. Anyways, you all did great. I love watching all of these. I love watching all of the stuff that you come up with. Great stuff here. The 89th replay by Lars Nox there. Great stuff. It's the 89th replay, and you know what that means? I need to save myself here because I have not drank a single drop of water yet in the last 2 hours. I've just been yapping and I need to drink. Wait, give me a second. Better be safe, better be safe. Hydrating, very good. Hydrating, very important. We did watch Mario's one already. 10 replays ago. In fact, actually 12 replays ago. Mario's replay came in. Alright. There we go. Let's see the next comparison now, though. Between the... not the next comparison. The next player. Because it's a very good puzzler. We have seen some great runs by him, especially last season. It is Imperator with a .82. Another 300ths of a second faster. And I can tell you, this is pretty much the end of the normal runs that we see. The pretty much normal runs. Here's where that breaks apart, kind of, where we end with that. The other ones were more normal. Now we're getting to insane territories. Let's take a look at what Imperator does. So he's going to the right, jumping up here onto wood and just plastic bounces. Just super inside over the wood there and then into the finish. He just plastic bounces and he keeps all of his speed. Now the thing is, this maybe looks easy and simple. It is not. This is not at all. This is a very weird plastic bounce. This is not how the plastic bounce should normally behave. He gets a much stronger plastic bounce than normal. And if you don't get this strong plastic bounce, you do not make it around this turn. Like, if I tried this a little bit, I tried this route a little bit, and I could not get it in like 2-3 minutes of trying to just get it even once in this trajectory, but he gets it and even keeps 250 speed. I think the way he gets it here especially is because he has such an unsmooth transition. So he's bumping up here, gets a wheelie, and then has a wheelie as well, and because of that gets a stronger plastic bounce to the right, and that way doesn't have to steer that much, keep more speed. And then here as well, another cool strat, he doesn't jump here at all because he placed this wood block here. We saw that earlier as well, I believe by Maverick, a lot of replays ago. He doesn't jump here at all because he has the wood on the side. So he gets a very nice inside line, also finds the wallbang. Great stuff by Imperator. Great stuff here. Inside line, managing to beat the others by 300ths of a second. The thing is with Imperator, in the previous season he was pretty much always top 5. last time he did not manage to even crack the top 10. He was, I believe, somewhere around 12, 13, something like that. Let's see where he ended up this time with this run right here, a .82. Well, I can tell you, he did get beaten by at least one Croatian guy. That is nice to see here, participating again. Last time barely missed out on the top 20. Was on 22nd place. It is Techie with a .81. Just 5 thousandths of a second faster. Surely not missing out again. Surely not. Techie with a big improvement this time from previous edition. A .81. Great stuff here by Techie. 5 thousandths of a second faster. And let's take a look. Well, remember how I said that was the end of the normal routes? The normal runs? Nah, this is pretty normal. This one is still pretty normal. Just way better executed. He does the double wood wall right turn here as we've seen previously, but he found one extra thing here at the end, and that is that he, first of all, gets a very good run here, just fast, but then here he lands early on this black platform. I've not seen a single other person. We have seen 91 replays so far. I don't think a single other person has placed this black platform like this to go onto here and get this jump a little bit smoother and not have as much airtime. Therefore, he gets this move and he keeps a lot of speed. He has like 260 speed there still coming into the last turn. He has to go wider. But that's fine. He goes over the platform here and has a very nice inside trajectory still for the finish. He doesn't have to steer that much there. Just in general, just keeping a lot of speed, especially in the start. The wall ride transition here, he got very well. Just really fast around that corner especially. And just beating out Imperator by 5 thousandths of a second. However, Techie, Imperator is not the only one who got beaten barely. He also got beaten by Smithy with just 1/100th of a second. And now you kind of will see what I mean with the not normal routes. 1/100th of a second faster and 808. Let's take a look. Also goes to the right side, jumping on the wood, but look at this thread going around into plastic bounce and then into the finish. Not a single other player we have seen so far did this, and I love it. I think one other player did it actually, like 60 replays ago or something. One other person did it like this, but not with a plastic bounce. So crazy different strategy here by Smithy. First of all, he jumps up like this, normal, we have seen this before, jumping up onto this wood platform. But then, look at this transition. Mother of God, this is so good. I love it. I love it, Smithy. I've not, like we've seen a similar thread in other direction, but not here. From the wood onto the sausage once, and then twice again here, and onto another wood. Mike, this is so clean and so creative. I love it. I love it so much. So smooth. Keeps a lot of speed. 270 speed in this turn. And then he actually uses the ramp that I gave you. This ramp, for most players, it was in the way. But for Smithy, he actually used it in his route and just uses a plastic bounce here on the side to bounce back down, and then also lands perfectly smooth in the black platform here that he plays sideways. Like, look at how smooth that is. That is crazy, absolutely crazy. Then also onto another platform as well, inside here. Another interesting improvement here as well that he found is that he's using platform here, flat platform, and then places the wood this direction. This way, he doesn't have a jump at all. You remember how a lot of people were trying to mitigate the jump here by placing some blocks here? He doesn't have a jump at all because he saved these blocks that most people place here, right? Most people place those blocks here to keep a flat line here. He saved them to be able to place them here on this side and get a flat line into the checkpoint. Then onto the wood and inside finish as well. Now the crazy thing about Smithy as well is that he sent in twice. This is the run that he sent in, I believe, on the last day or the second to last day. He also sent another run in on the very first day within 1 hour of the puzzle being out, and it was only 1/10 of a second slower. He found a point in 91 or 92 or something like that within an hour, which is just crazy. It's so crazy that he found this kind of strat in an hour already. The thing is, then he had another week after spending 1 hour to find that. He had another week and he could only improve by a 10th after that. So 1 hour for a 0.9 and then another week for a 0.8 pretty much, which is insane. Another funny story about that. 1 hour after Smithy submitted, Alcon submitted 10.0 and he wrote a GG maxed. There were 2 runs submitted, one by Alcon and one by Smithy. Alcon is writing GG max and I already knew he lost by a second. That was pretty fun. I'm sorry, Alcon, for calling you out, but that was really funny. That was really funny. You gave me a good laugh. I'm sorry. You gave me a really good laugh. That was super funny. But anyways, insane. Actually insane. I want to compare as well to just show how this one works here. So this is Smithy versus Imperator and Techie that we saw earlier. So let's take a look at Smithy's point of view. All 3 of them, of course, taking all the boosters. Then Imperator and Smithy, are going for this wood block. Now Imperator goes for the plastic bounce right there and bounces to the right, whereas Smithy goes for the wider line, coming around here, and you see he's actually far behind. They got the checkpoint already now at 5.1. Smithy 4/10 of a second behind in the checkpoint, but he has more speed. Catches up, comes even closer, low airtime there, comes even closer and into the finish. Just barely snipes them by 1/100th of a second. Look at this. Look at this snipe. Oh, so good. So good. So good. I love it. Just look at this. This was the difference between them. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. I also want to watch this from above once, because I think that is gives a nice overview as well between the different routes here, because this is basically 3 different routes. So we can see here, they're coming up. Imperator going the most inside, Smithy going the widest, and then Techie going like in between. Then they're coming back together. Then Smithy has the extra speed, smoother line into the finish as well, and then it all comes down to just 1/100th of a second. Insane, insane. Looked hard to drive. That is true. Definitely hard to drive that one. All right, that was Smithy. But we're not done. We are not done, because the next player, I was very surprised to see him submitting, was the very first time. It's a fellow OK boy that we have not seen before submitting. It's the first time, and it is Dexter with a .77. It's not Riolu. It's not Riolu. It is Dexter. So playing the puzzle competition for the first time and getting a sick run in the process as well. A .775. Yeah, almost got the 771 for his nickname. He got a 775. Great stuff. Wait a second. Now it's accurate. Now it's accurate. Dexter 775 now. There you go. It's Dexter 775 actually. But yeah, great stuff here by Dexter. What I'm not so happy about is this. What is that plastic bounce? He did the same strat as Imperator, just even more illegal. It already looked illegal when you watched Imperator, but what is this? What do you mean? This is, I tried this as well. It's like I could not replicate it. What is this bounce? Doesn't make any sense. What is this? I think he's getting like a bug, you know, like a double bump or something, you know, that you sometimes see. I think he's like, what happens here, I think, is that he's hitting once with his front wheels, and then he gets another bounce with his back wheels, right? So one hit right here, and then another hit right there. So he's getting like 2 plastic bounces in one to keep so much speed here. 250 speed, then super inside line here as well across this. And then tight a finish as well. Nice stuff by a Dexter. 0.775. Definitely want to watch a comparison between him and Imperator here as well. To just compare the two. So if we watch Imperator here. So they're basically doing the same strat, right? It's the same idea. They both jump up onto this wood block, but then Imperator actually taking the plastic bounce a little bit earlier. He placed the plastic bounce one earlier like this, one lower. So that way he gets it a bit differently. Pretty similar speed here, different setups for the ending here. Imperator going wider, trying to catch up to Dexter. It's so close, but in the end, Dexter stays in front. Dexter staying in front for the ending. You can also watch it again at full speed here as well. Nice comparison between the two. Insane stuff though. Insane stuff how close it is. Now, I am doing an exception this time. I'm going to show you a replay that normally I wouldn't show you because it is not part of the competition. But I want to show you anyways because it is unique. I couldn't help myself and I wanted to play the map a little bit as well. And I came up with a route as well, and I just want to show it off because nobody else did this route, and I wanted to show you guys because I thought it was interesting. It is a 0.68, another 1/10 of a second faster, but I can tell you we're not at the end yet. We're not at the end yet. I wouldn't show this if we were in the top 3, just saying. If we were in the top 3 already, I wouldn't show this. There's still more to come. Let's take a look at this. A 0.68 by me. So I'm also going up to the right, onto the wood, but then wall right here into plastic bounce and then inside finish. I did not find the wallbang at the end. That would have maybe saved a little bit of time. But yeah, a different strat right here. So jumping up like this and then taking the wall ride with the wood block here. Like this wall ride is only possible by placing the wood block on this edge. This was very hard to hunt, by the way. Very hard to hunt. And then this wall ride barely goes over this ramp. And then obviously you would hit the checkpoint normally, but then the plastic bounce comes in handy perfectly at this point to drop me a little bit lower. Smooth transition here as well. I saved these platform blocks just like Smithy did, so I could do this inside line here and into this finish. Now, this is of course not part of of the competition, but I thought it was interesting to show because nobody else came up with a solution. And maybe some people tried this or something. Maybe it gives you inspiration for the next puzzle. That's why I want to show it off, because it nobody else did it, and I thought it was interesting. But as I said, not part of the competition. The next player did beat me though by only 0.04 of a second, and it is Ease4. Ease4 coming in with a 0.67, a 678. And if the other runs from like Dexter and Imperator earlier with the plastic bounces were illegal, then this is definitely illegal. He's going to the right as well, jumping up onto the wood, and just drives through the checkpoint. There is actually space there. Then also plastic bounce at the end and finish. So I assume probably a lot of people might have tried this route but deemed it to not be possible because how are you even fitting through here? How does this even work? How do you even fit through there? There's like no space. I think you need to literally hit the perfect spot to not hit the roof here. Like, look at the driver head is literally through the checkpoint. It's literally going through the checkpoint, but you're not getting a slowdown. What is this? Yeah, I think a lot of people probably tried this, but it didn't work for them. Or like Dennis says, they needed the wood for something else. But yeah, it is actually possible and you can keep more speed. Of course, this is the tightest turn you can possibly do here. It doesn't get tighter than this, and using wood is always good for these kind of sections. Another thing that he does that we didn't see yet either, I believe, is this transition. This transition from the black platform, he obviously didn't have many blocks left after that start. This black platform transition onto the wood here is so smooth. Like, you can literally use this in a normal track, right? Like, I want to see this in a cover of day track or something, or in a competitive track. This transition is so smooth. So smooth. But then, not only that, he also takes a plastic bounce there as well to keep the speed and into the finish. It's not smooth. Well, the way you drove it here is maybe smooth. But yeah, that's great stuff. You have to shut off your brain when you hunt something like this sometimes, yeah. Or you have to activate your full brain. It's like either or, right? Like, you think this shouldn't be possible, but sometimes you just have to try it out enough until you know for certain, right? That's the thing. But yeah, Eastful barely managing it here and also getting a great run with it. Point is 67, managing to beat Dexter the previous one by a full 1/10 of a second. But we're not done. We are not done. Because the next one is another 500 of a second faster. And we saw a lot of runs in a row. We saw, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 runs in a row going to the right side. The next one is going to the left again. It's Josh with a point 62. We're going back to the left side. Jumps up here onto the wood. Then inside line here and just drives super smooth across, just flat, and jump into the finish. Just perfectly optimized here. Just simple route. I think this is actually a lot harder to drive than it looks. Because there's really not a lot of space here. Like, look at this, like right here, he goes inside through this, then onto this black platform, barely works first of all, onto this, and then he goes onto the next wood and makes this turn here. I think this is a lot harder to drive than it actually looks, but it's just the most efficient way possible. Like, he does the entire turning on the wood pretty much. The black platform, he stays pretty straight. He also gets the gear on the black platform as well, in between the turns, also very important in this case. Fast speed, 0.62, nice stuff by Josh. And then also, of course, this finish jump as well. I'm not sure if we've seen this landing previously, but now the players are getting so much speed that they can jump all the way here and over jump this entire block to land in this platform here smooth. But basically, you're just doing all the turning on the wood and trying to gather as much speed as possible through these turns here on the wood into the finish. Did not believe it's possible to go this fast with this checkpoint order. Yeah, it's crazy. But Josh is not the only one, because Stratos beat him by just 1/100th of a second. Again, a point is 61. We are on the 97th one already. And he beat him by 1/100th of a second, and he also goes to the left. But he found a different solution. So he's going up here and he does the basically the Margie solution that we saw earlier. So going up here over the wood inside line, and then he found one improvement with the black platform there. Contrary to Margie, who just jumped here and had an unsmooth landing, Stratos lands very smooth here on the black platform, keeps the flat line, and then also takes a more aggressive plastic bounce as well to drop down lower, more inside, keep even more speed, and then the same finish jump. Very sick stuff here by Stratos. And it's just so close between them, and we have to watch a comparison. We have to watch a comparison between them. let's take a look, watching from a Josh perspective. So starting out here, jumping up to the left, different trajectories, but very similar between them. Then Josh goes wider here, whereas Stratos goes more inside. Is ahead, but has less speed. Josh going a little bit more outside on the jump, coming back with more exit speed, but it's not enough by just 1/100th of a second. These runs are so close to each other. Just 1/100th separating them, which is just insane. The speed is so similar, actually. Especially for Stratos. He keeps so much speed with this optimized plastic bounce that he gets. Like this plastic bounce right here, he doesn't really lose that much time from the air time, you know? Or he doesn't lose that much speed through it. And he also doesn't have to steer as much as Josh does on the wood. And with that, just barely stays ahead. But there are certain names that might still be missing. Because the next one that we're gonna watch, just 3/100th of a second faster, again, is back to the right side. And it is Shorty. Shorty with a 0.58. Shorty coming in with the right side. And the crazy thing is, we've seen so much crazy stuff from the right side. People doing plastic bounces, wider lines. He's doing the old classic double wood wall ride line. It's the comeback of the double wood wall ride line and into the finish. He just got it this fast. He just optimized everything about it. It's the same idea that we saw earlier, but somehow he managed to gain this much time still on the run. He got himself a 0.58, which is insane. Actually insane. So same line as we've seen earlier before. Always the double boost at the start, then jumping up here onto the wood. Double wood to get to steer a little bit less here, get a better angle onto the wall ride. Then smooth line onto here, keep a lot of speed. Then similar to others as well, he saves the 2 wood blocks for the ending, which means that he can have a smoother transition here. He doesn't have to steer that much. And also has a flat transition here as well by using the wider platform, the wider wood platform. Like, just imagine if he didn't place it here, he would have a much bigger drop. Would cost him a few hundreds, which very costly at this point. And then the finish as well. I want to point out, this is illegal, Shorty. He clips on the edge at the finish and it turns his car tighter into the finish. I think that actually gained him time. I think that actually gained him time in this case. Like, look at that. What is that? That's so stupid. That is so stupid. What? How is that possible? Now, another thing I want to point out about Shorty is he drove this on the last day. His previous run that he sent in was 300th of a second slower. It was a 612. Funnily enough, it was 1,000th of a second slower than Stratos. And at that point, Stratos had the fastest time. When Shorty submitted his first run, he was a second by 1,000th of a second. And oh my god, I couldn't help back my laughter when I saw that. I am sorry, Shorty. He announced to me that he was submitting and he was doing that now. And I just saw he was second by 1,000th. Which is just so crazy. And I want to look at a comparison between Shorty now and all of these others that had this same checkpoint order. The same idea. Where does a Shorty gain on them? They all had the same idea. So, looking at the start, we have Tenchi, Galenium, Nitra, Onion, and Tunix, all with basically the same idea here in the start, right? They were all doing the same idea. Shorty at the fastest at the start though, optimizing a little bit more, going a bit wider there and getting more speed. Then going across here, then onto the platform, right here, more inside as well. So here comes a big difference, first of all. Shorty gets more speed, then a smoother transition here. He doesn't have any airtime, then saves these blocks here, whereas others like do a small jump or some kind of transition. Shorty keeps both blocks and goes full inside into the checkpoint, gains a 10th with that, and then also just keeps that speed with a clean wood ending and just ahead. He's just ahead. It's basically the same idea, but he somehow managed to gain 2/10 of a second. Now, as I said, before the last day, this would have won. But that was not enough. Because, which I'm very excited about, the next one that we are going to take a look at is not by who you might imagine. It is by Alex. Alex was, I think, around 30th in the last edition. And this time around, he managed to get a sick run, a .57, beating Shorty. Yeah, sure, it's Carl Jr. because he has Car on his name. He just wanted to know what you're looking at, of course. Alex, last time, not even the top 20. This time, beating Shorty by just 1/100th of a second. And let's take a look at what Alex does. Because you might notice already, he's going to the left. And take a look at the start. This is really cool. Goes up and bugs out one block higher than over the wood here. Clean lines and finish. It's that simple. It's that simple. So the crazy thing that Alex does here, that is so creative and nobody else found, is this right here, this ramp. So you might remember a lot of people doing this ramp, but they never went onto this. Why? Because you can't make the jump here. You know, this is just too high. This transition does not work. However, what Alex thought of is, what if you place yourself inside of a block and glitch upwards? And that is what he does here. So let's take a look at Alex from this point of view. And look at that. He just glitches a tiny bit upwards as he's going through that block. And that way, barely makes the jump. Such a creative idea. Such a creative idea, and with that is able to keep more speed and also get the more inside line by being able to turn immediately right here. Whereas everyone else has to go around this and then take a wider line here as well. Then another thing, we've seen this previously as well, he uses this entire black platform wall right block here to drive inside around this, basically giving himself a black platform that he can drive over, just a flat platform. And then, because he only used this turn here and didn't use a flat block here, which basically everybody else did. Basically everybody needed to use one of these blocks here because they didn't find the thread. Because he had this one left over, he could place this insanely optimized transition from this to this in this section from checkpoint 2 to checkpoint 3. This is so optimized, and it's all because he found that one start hop at the start. He was the only one to find that. Then going more inside here as well, onto the booster, over the wood, and then he just doesn't need any blocks. Not as if he has many available still, but he just doesn't need any because he has so much speed, he just jumps all the way into the finish. I can tell you also, as well, he improved a lot throughout the week. He found this thread pretty quickly, but at first he only had, I believe, a 0.8, then he improved to a 0.7, then he improved to a 0.6, and at the very last day, he improved to a 0.5. So he improved multiple times, but just improving tiny details about the route, driving faster throughout the entire week, and in the end, it paid off. For a .57, being able to beat Shorty last week, second place. However, it was not the fastest run, because of course the inevitable is faster. It's a .54 by David H. is the next one that I want to take a look at, and it is 100th place. A .54 for David H. 300ths of a second faster. And he also does the left route. Goes up here, smooth transition across there. Going across the same way as Josh did over the booster, wood, and finish. Now you might wonder, why is this faster? Why is this faster? And I can tell you, it's because this one is really goddamn fast. He drove this so well. If we compare this against the other players that we've seen previously, looking at the comparison here against Alex and also against Josh, he just gets a really good run. He jumps across there, insta grip, super inside here to the next wood block. We can see here the difference. They're really close at this point, but then they go more inside here over the wood, slightly behind Alex, but therefore with more speed. Josh basically found the same strat as David, but just drove it a little bit slower here. Now I've combined Josh and David there for a second. David goes a bit more inside here in contrary to Josh. That way, gets a bit of a straighter line to the ending and then just barely overtakes Alex on the finish line with this one block that he had left over, getting a smoother landing here. He lands right here. Maybe without this block, it wouldn't have been enough. It's really close. But just barely going faster by 300ths of a second. We can also compare these again by their pace, going around like this, up here, and then just the small better improvement or improvement on the driving, making the difference. We can also see this from Josh's perspective, well, who basically found the exact same route as David. Very close stuff, but in the end, this difference made up four positions between Josh and David. Now you might notice one thing, and that is that I did not tell you that David won, because for the first time in I think 3 weeks, 3 editions, it is not David winning. This was not enough. He only got second place. David got the second place. There's one player who went faster. Now you're wondering maybe, the last ones, they were so close. Like it was like 100 faster, 200 faster, 300 faster or something. Only 100, a few thousands of a difference. This is not a few hundreds faster. It is 1500ths faster by LD and 8.4. 1500ths faster, and he goes to the right. He does the different route. Let's take a look. Jumps up here, and what is that? How does that work? Goes up here, plastic bounce, wallbang finish. He does the even more illegal eastful strat. He put another block there and manages to keep another 10-20 speed faster than what eastful was able to do. How is this route even possible? Also finds the wallbang at the end. He does another plastic bounce. 1500ths faster by LD. He participated now the first time in the previous edition where he got 3rd place. I thought that's the first time. He found a nice route. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it wasn't a fluke. He got 3rd place the last edition and now 1st place this edition. LD definitely a puzzler to watch out for. Once again, I want to show this here. This very much, wait, cutting it close through the checkpoint here, even closer than what Eastful did. It's just insane to me that this is even possible. Just barely around here. He found this black platform right here, which gives him a little bit more speed around this, and then just so close, just barely not crashing. Same thing as Eastful, but the thing is, with the smoother transition, he keeps a lot more speed than what Eastful was able to do. And this extra speed just carries out or carries through pretty much until the finish line. So goes around here, then on the black platform. Another small improvement here, by the way, as well. He uses the plastic bounce here to turn a little bit less on the wood, which gives him a bit more speed perhaps into this section. Plastic bounce there, and then also jumps, because he has so much speed already, he just jumps into the finish, and just what a beautiful wallbang into the finish. Alright, insane stuff by LD. The 101st run. Of course, there was one run by me, so there was in total 100 submissions this time around. Insane stuff by you. LD winning this time around and also going home with 50 euros as well. I wanna show you guys the comparison though as well between them, which I can show you. Oh yeah, Perry had 2, so it's 99. But I don't like that. 100 looks a lot better. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the map. I think the route was pretty cool in general. This in the end... Wait, hello? Game? Ah! It doesn't recognize my mouse. I don't know why. There, now it recognizes my mouse. There you go. Why is there a giant Nadio text on my screen? You see that as well? Why did that happen? Anyways, this in the end... This is so distracting. Oh my god. Anyways, this is what ended up being the fastest. 2 booster blocks at the start. Then platform up hits here to skip the water in this checkpoint. Just barely jump through here. Then the wood, wall ride, wood combination through this checkpoint, just threading the needle through here. Then the platforms to go across this is smooth. And don't go over penalty as well in this case. Managed to find a way. 2 wood blocks here interconnected to keep the speed. Then onto the black platform here for a smooth transition onto this one. Plastic bounce here as well to get a better trajectory for the finish. And then a jump into a wallbang and barely through this. What a mark by Nadio, basically. I want to show you as well. First of all, I'm going to show you a full comparison with all the top 20 runs in the in one replay. But before that, I also want to show once again another recap of the positions. Now, if you didn't keep track earlier, here you go. It is Techie. Last time he was 22nd, barely missed out on the top 20. This time he got the top 10. Techie getting the top 10, barely squeezing in. Smithy with the 9th place. Dexter with 8th, Eastful with 7th, then Josh getting 6th place, Stratos with the 5th place, Shorty with 4th, Alex with the 3rd place this time, David H with 2nd place, and 1st for LD. I will also show you in a second as well what the standings are now. I will update the spreadsheet as well. We'll do that if you're watching on YouTube. I will also put that into the description as well if you're interested in also seeing the entire time list as well. I will show that in a second, but before that, I want to show you guys the full comparison between everyone. So here we go. By the way, I set this up in the 5 minutes before the countdown because I was working on this week's puzzle competition. I was working yesterday for like 3 hours, the Friday for 3 hours probably, and also today for another 3 hours probably on just getting this ready because you guys sent in 100 replays, which was a lot of work this time. So maybe we're moving the deadline to Thursday for the next week, so I have a little bit more time to set that up and don't have to rush that much in 2 days. But yeah, it's so nice to see the comparison here. First of all, it's also fun to see the 2 different lines here. Pretty much everybody doing the lower jump here and everybody here doing the double booster. Double booster just worked out better. Some people were going for 1 booster here and then another booster here. It just didn't end up being the fastest in this case. So let's take a look at the right route first. So everybody close here. Then they're all using the same platform block, jumping up here. And almost all of them also jumping onto a wood block. Then they're all turning into this here. Anya and Nitra going much wider. But they're basically all on the exact same wood block in this case. However, LD and Isvo, of course, cheating and going super inside with the wood there, which is just crazy to me that works. Then Dexter and Imperator here going for the wallbang strat. myself as well, and also Smithy going wide and going around here. And then we also have all the wall riders with Shorty, Galenium, Techie, Tenchi, Onion, and Nitra. In the end, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players going to the right and 9 players going to the left in the top 20. I think the balance was good last time in the first edition. I think it was even better this time. I think it was even better this time around. Actually, I can also hide that now as well. I think the balance was pretty damn good. Now here they cross paths as well. You can see Smithy so far away with less speed. Myself as well there. LD so far ahead with the extra speed. You can really tell now the difference. Like right here still, for example, LD and Isfu were still close. But then you see that transition and just how much speed he gains from it. He's so far ahead of everybody else. Isfu as well, but with less speed. Dexter at this point on 3rd place at that section, but less speed than the others as well. Then Shorty coming with more speed, overtaking Dexter there. Techie going super wide at the ending, the only one to go wide. And then they come into the finish. It is LD leading the pack, and then a Shorty, Isfu, myself, who doesn't count of course, Dexter, Techie, Imperator, Smithy, Nitra, Tenchi, Onion, and Galenium. Let's take a look at the other route as well here. It's kind of nice to see all of them together at one place. So at the start, it's very easy to spot Alex because he's the only one glitching out here like this, and is, with that, also the only one during this turn. He's the only one who saved that block for the turn. With that, a little bit ahead of the others at this point. Everyone else did the basically exact same line. Then coming around here, around the turn, David H and Josh going the very wide line and keeping all of the speed. Foxilv, the only one to drop low, and then a lot of people going with the wall ride lines around here. All of them very close around this. It is Alex with the more inside line still ahead of everyone else. Margie currently behind, but with more speed. Then everybody doing the platform uphill here as well into a booster. Everybody in the top 20 found that it was just necessary at this point. The next puzzle competition will also be a bit more complicated. These restarts were pretty similar still, but it will make sure that they're a bit more complicated and that more routes will be possible for the top 20. I will try at least my best, even though I think this is really cool and stuff, but I will try to make it a little bit harder so that we have a bit more varied solutions, because there were a lot. Like there were 40 players who were between a sub 10 and a sub 9 or something, or maybe even more. Madison just said in Discord he will compete if there's ice or reactor. Maybe there will be ice next time. I will think about it. I will definitely think about it. No reactor though. I will guarantee no reactor, because otherwise the player number would drop to below 50 again, I think. But yeah, it's Alex here leading in the jump, but David H with a little bit more speed. Then we have Stratos, then Josh, Lars Nox, Foxilv, Margie, Maimo Jr. and Sarpi, the only one who is driving at the end. Everybody else did this big jump here with the wood. Sarpi the only one driving. And then at the very end, they all come together with LD on 1st place. Then on 2nd place, we have, of course, David H on the left side. Then next one is Alex with a point 57. Then we have a Shorty next. After Shorty, we have a Stratos and a Josh within 100s of each other. Then we have Isfu, the next player coming in. After Isfu, we actually have a 1/10 of a second gap to Dexter. And then look at how close everybody is here. We have a Smithy, Imperator, Techie, incredibly close to each other. Then we have Lars Nox coming in from the other side again. We have Tenchi with the wallbang coming, finishing basically at the exact same time. From here we have Foxilv as well now coming into the finish with Galenium basically at the exact same time. I think they were literally exactly at the same time. Then comes Nitra as well into the finish. Next one to finish is Margie from the top as well. Then after Margie we have Onion finishing from this side here. And after Onion we have Maimo Jr. and Sarpi rounding out the top 20 with just 1/1000th between them. I feel a little bit sorry for Tunix, because Tunix was the only one to get a sub 9, but not get top 20. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but I hope she will participate next time and maybe get the top 20 that time around. But just by 0.004 of a second, missed out on the top 20, even though she did manage to get a sub 9 seconds time. But yeah, there we go. That is the comparison between everyone. As I said previously, I want to show you guys also the comparison ones between everyone. And I just noticed I don't have a scene for that. Whoops. I might have forgotten about that. Anyways, so I want to show you guys the spreadsheet as well before we leave off. So let me quickly switch the scene section, I guess, to here. So we have a desktop scene now, and here you go. This is the spreadsheet. It will be linked in the description as well. You can also find it in the Discord, in the format channel. It's also posted there. Here you can see the entire resets again, how many points each player gets, of course. So LD got 15 points this time, David H 12 points, Alex 10, and so forth, until we see here Maimo Jr. with 1 point, everybody here with 1 point, of course, and then you can see all the participants up until 100th, with Doomy and Switman, who were, of course, if you're remembering, doing press forwards. If you're interested in the times as well, you can also see them on the second screen here as well at the bottom. Here you can see the exact times as well from everybody and just how close it was. Here you see the 993, 994, 998, then 300ths of a second difference here. Just like, look at this. 22nd for Nida with a 9.03, and then 60th for Skywalker with a 9.98. Skywalker was 60th. A lot of people were scared of Granadi streaming his run with a 997. In the end, he got only 57th, which is insane. Insane stuff, how close that was. And then for the final results, how it's looking like right now, it is right here on the right side are the standings. It is currently David H leading with 27 points. But not far behind him with the win today is LD with 25 points, only 2 points separating them. And of course, if you have one bad week, that can make a big difference, of course, if they continue always being in the top 3. This is actually insane that they both managed to be in the top 3 in both editions, which is insane. Actually insane. Really well done by them. Then Shorty, of course, this time getting 5th place, I believe, in 4th place. I'm sorry, 4th place. Got himself 8 points. To go 20th, to go to 20 points, still sitting on 3rd place right now. Probably wants to bump that up by at least one position. Then Stratos with consistent results on 14 points. I believe he got 5th place twice in a row, 7 points each, which is kind of funny. Both editions he got 5th place. Then we have Isfo with 11 points, also very consistent. Same with Smithy, got a good position this time around. I believe in the first edition he managed to get 3 points. This time around he got 8 points. Then Alex jumping into the top 7, whereas previously, we can actually look, Alex was 35th in the last edition. But this time managing to get a top 3 and instantly jumping up to 7th place with that. And there's still 4 editions left, and especially if the top positions still shake up a little bit, we could see some changes. Then we have, after Alex, Josh as well with 7 points, also managing good positions as well. I believe last time he was in the top 20. Then we have Marius on 9th place, Rockskater and Dexter tied up on 4 points, still in the top 10 with that, barely. Then we have Vantri, Kadru and Onion with 3, Nitra, Imperator, and Tenchi and Teki with 2 points, and then Matsats, Jumper, Soulbrewer, Alec Bees, User 45, Brinken, Lasnox, Galenium, Foxelf, Margie, Sapi, and Maimo Jr. all with 1 point each. Alright, I am really looking forward to this. I think the next edition that I will do will probably be a bit harder and a bit more dank. At least my idea. For any feedback, of course, you can leave that in the Discord. if you have any feedback about the map. I think the map turned out really well. I really enjoyed the map, and it gave a good sense of placement, kind of, because you knew that there was an intended route. So I think it was a bit easier to follow, at least for me, to like know where we are and how much faster we are going now. But yeah, sure. If there's any feedback, be sure to leave that in the Discord. We might do a poll as well about a small rule change. But yeah, we'll see you guys hopefully next edition again for edition number 3. Looking forward to it. All right.